wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy middle of the week, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Wednesday to you. Of course, waking up to some sad news. It was just in the national news there a minute ago. But there was a major bus accident in Texas last night in Andrews. Multiple players and a coach from the University of the Southwest's men's and women's golf teams. They passed away in a fiery crash in West Texas. Authorities say the team was traveling north when it struck a southbound vehicle head-on. It's pretty rough.
Wow.
Texas Department of Public Safety says the bus was carrying the teams from a tournament in Midland, Texas. The team was traveling north when it struck a southbound truck head-on around 8 p.m. Last night. Authorities say the crash caused a massive fire that could be seen for miles. University of Southwest is located in Hobbs.
Right.
They said they're not going to be releasing names and numbers yet of those deceased as they work with the university to confirm further information. At the time of the investigation, a member of the Texas DPS, a sergeant there, said the other vehicle involved in the crash was a Ford F-150, and they are deceased in the vehicle as well. A Midland station is reporting that university president said in a statement apart, "We are still learning the details about the accident, but we are devastated and deeply saddened to learn about the loss of our students' lives and their coach." So that's the latest we got on that. But yeah, it's kind of waking up to that one this morning. So sorry to hear about that. Oh, I guess President Zelensky is now speaking to Congress. I saw he was going to be doing that.
It's been a busy morning is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, been kind of.
Yeah, I woke up to that news about the bus crash, and that was just, whew.
Well,
Rough.
to be honest, I didn't know anything about it till Town Hall News here a couple minutes ago. I was sitting here prepping for the show, and I hadn't really looked at Facebook or anything yet. And next thing I was listening to the news, and I heard him say, about the crash in Andrews. I said, Andrews, Texas, but they said, I'm like, Andrews. And I was like, that's not far from here. And it was like, I was like, oh man. So then I went online and dug up some more information about it. But yeah, it's kind of a rough thing to wake up to this morning. So
not exactly how you wanted to start your day.
Prayers, thoughts, condolences out to the families and all involved with that one.
Absolutely.
Hopefully they get some kind of good news out of that after all's said and done, you know. But life must go on sometimes. Even when all these things happen, you're just like,
show rolls on.
Yeah, it is what it is. But happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a delightful one. We're going to replay some interviews. Got some guests coming in as well. John from Oasis Computers will join us this hour. Talk tech with him.
Talking tech real good.
Yeah. And then we're going to replay some interviews. Terry Lindbergh with Hippie Chicks joined us yesterday in the 9 o'clock hour. So I'm going to play it for you about 8:15 today.
Nice.
Had a fun conversation with her.
Yeah.
And Matt Bristol joined us Monday and talking legal stuff and all that. So we're going to play that for you about 9:15 this morning. So that's kind of the rundown for today's show here. So
I had one of those classic didn't set my alarm situations this morning.
Yeah.
It's so when you wake up as a single father realizing you have to take your children somewhere before you can even like function at work, you have a whole checklist you have to like look at and go through like first thing when your eyes open. And when your eyes open 45 minutes after you expected them to, it really stresses you out. Yeah, so I was scrambling around them. This morning in my head, I've just been playing the you just constantly moving around.
So the kids get to sleep in a little bit too?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, good for them.
Luckies. Well, they get to sleep in at mom's house. It's fine.
Yeah.
And once I take them over to mom's house, they get to sleep in.
Maybe were they less cranky this morning?
They actually were.
Yeah?
Weirdly, yeah. Yeah, Rihanna was talkative.
Yeah.
It wasn't every reaction out of the back of the car wasn't, okay, cool. Hey, just a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, that extra minute did it, man. Yeah.
It's a sleep cycle thing, but I can barely like gauge my own.
Right.
I have no idea what the sleep cycles of an 8-year-old are.
Well, they need more.
Especially not the sleep cycles of an 8-year-old who wakes up in the middle of the night and watches YouTube.
Well, you know what? So here's something to look forward to. They're going to be teenagers soon.
Shut your mouth. Shut your stupid mouth. You really want to fight this morning?
No,
Is that what's up? You want to throw down? You want to catch these hands?
You want to fight me because your kids are going to be teenagers one day?
No, because I don't want to think about it.
But here's the thing.
It's going to happen. I know.
They're going to sleep a lot.
Oh, that is true. They're also going to disrespect me. They're going to hate everything around them. Even more, which terrifies me because Rhiannon already kind of acts like that. So it's like, how much worse? How much more can she hate things?
Well, maybe it'll go the other way.
Right. Maybe I'll have like the perfect teenager.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying maybe it flip flops and then they went from loving everything to hating it. Now maybe it's the other way around. They go from hating it, and then as the teenagers, they'll be like, I love
your optimism.
Hey.
Your hapless optimism in the face of adversity.
You just never know.
Mm-hmm. This is coming from someone who's never who doesn't. I'm saying this with all due respect. Has chosen freedom. Yeah. So it's hard to gauge what it's like over here.
I'm just saying you don't know. You never know.
You're absolutely right.
It could happen that things are different. So.
You're absolutely right. And there's a reason that the companies that make stress balls are still in business. All I'm saying.
Should be happy you got an extra 40 minutes of sleep today.
Actually, yeah, I feel refreshed and, well, not really refreshed.
I mean,
stressed.
You're working. All that would have happened anyway. Plus, you got 45 extra minutes of sleep today.
All right, Captain Optimism. I'll take it. Look at you.
And that's why I'm a morning show host. I got to be chipper. All right, it is 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. Going to be warm today. It's like unseasonably warm.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks pretty good today and very warm, and then we'll get a big cool down on Thursday with a cold front moving in. Low 80s for the afternoon high today and lots of sunshine. Overnight will be clear and breezy. We'll drop to about 45. Then tomorrow, partly sunny. Our afternoon high stays in the upper 50s following that cold front, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 40 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 28%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 7 miles per hour. It's going to be a warm one today, sunny and 85. Little breezy, but more winds tomorrow than today. West winds 5 to 10 this morning, 15 to 20 for the afternoon. Clear skies tonight with an overnight low of 44 with west winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, cooler. We're going to be about 20 degrees cooler, 61 for a high tomorrow. They're also throwing in a 20% chance of rain for the afternoon. Hopefully we see a little moisture. That'd be nice. And it's going to be breezy. So 20% chance of rain. Sunny, 61 for a high. But west winds 15 to 20 early. Later in the day, increasing 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear with an overnight low of 30. North winds 15 to 20, decreasing 5 to 10 after midnight. Friday, 62, mostly sunny. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour, and then warms back up a little bit for the weekend. Sunny, 76 on Saturday. Mostly sunny and breezy, highs right around 80 on Sunday. And it looks like we'll could see some more rain chances first part of next week with some more winds as well. Well, it's spring, right? That's how it works, or about to be spring. I don't know. officially or whatever it is. It'll be summer next week. It is 7:15. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then John from Oasis Computers will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Being called a fox in your marriage might not always be a good thing. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie, for The Joy of Marriage.
In Song of Solomon, it says, "Catch all the foxes, those little foxes, before they ruin the vineyard of love." I looked up the word fox, and it means cunning, achieving one's goal by deceit or evasion. A female fox is a vixen, which is spiteful or a combative woman.
Those little things we do to try to get our way can ruin our marriages. Try just being honest and talking through the situation. Do what's best for your marriage, not just for yourself. When Julie and I learned to choose to do what's right instead of trying to be right, our marriage turned around. You will find marriage is so much better when we work together.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Finally, a return to normal prom season. And Roswell's most unique boutique has something special for you early birdies with the Hippie Chicks Early Bird Tux Rental Drawing. Simply rent your tux by April 1st and you'll be entered into an exclusive drawing for a $100 Peppers gift card. And with lots of styles to choose from, you can't lose. Open Monday through Saturday at 10 a.m. at 802 South Main in Roswell. Look for the lime green VW Bug or call 575-627-3868. And find Shop Hippie Chicks on Facebook to see it all. Hippie Chicks, Roswell's prom powerhouse. Time to put your money where your mouth is. The March Mania Slam Dunk Savings Event is on at Roswell Honda. Saturday, March 19th from 10 to 1, the hoop will be set up at Roswell Honda. Shoot for up to $1,000 discount. Enjoy free food and drinks, fun for the whole family, and register to win a 54-inch Spalding portable basketball hoop. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 19th at 1, must be present to win. Score big during the Slam Dunk Savings Event at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 7 o'clock. I hope there's like mathematicians that laugh at those jokes at least, if no one else does. Joining us in studio this morning from Oasis Computers, John's back with us. Morning, John.
Good morning. How are you?
How about yourself? Doing good?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Of course, for folks that aren't familiar, John joins us each month there from Oasis, and we always talk technology, whether it's something that we're seeing with computers or software right now, or maybe some advances and things we're seeing, or just general things that want to make you throw your computer out the window. We talk all about those kinds of things. So, I know lately we've been talking to. Actually, I'm kind of curious just for an update here on about 3 months ago or so, right before Christmas. Actually, I think we talked about these computers, a company that basically designed these laptops that you can upgrade and build and design. But basically, they kind of grow with you, kind of thing. Are you seeing more sales, more of that coming?
Not a whole lot, but I do see interest in it. People are apparently interested in a better quality. We have to thank, I think, HP a lot for it because they keep bringing them in broken charge ports. What is like $100, $120 replacement, depending on which model you get, versus like $20 for the framework computer.
Yeah.
You just pop another deal in it. Broken hinges, especially again on HP, is really bad at the moment.
I can't imagine like them getting a contract with like the military or something, or a government contract.
They do build different things and they can build better, but what I see coming in the store, the quote-unquote cheaper, more inexpensive stuff, I guess we should say, seems to be turning into, pardon my French, crap again. It just I don't know. It just now you can argue that they weren't careful enough with it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to treat it with respect, and some people don't. But still, I mean, other machines don't just fall apart. And I was watching the Leo Laporte show on Sunday. It was this Sunday? I believe it was this Sunday. And there were 4 people there talking to each other. And they all had a framework computer. They all loved it. And the one guy was coming from Apple, and he said, I'll never go back to Apple. This is the same quality as Apple with the freedom to do what I want.
Wow, that's a
And the Apple I
endorsement.
can't fix, and this one I can.
Sure.
Oh, by the way, he says, I'm a little clumsy. I break these ports and the hinges. That the guy would break those.
He's not so gentle
And he
with them.
says, I think I'm just carrying a bag of parts with me, so on the road I can fix it myself.
And that's if they're $15 a pop or whatever, it really is.
Right.
Behooves of you just to keep an extra spare on hand or a couple spares on hand for.
Well, for instance, the charge port on the side or something, if you break that, or your USB plug, whatever.
Yeah.
If you take a couple with you, you can just plug one back in and you're up and going.
And I would imagine too, it probably lets you kind of configure. Say you've had it configured one way, and then you're doing an application like, I needed more USB ports than I thought.
Right. That's
you can
really
easily
nice too.
pop one in on the side there if you needed an extra.
Right. If many machines have a video port out, and you say, I don't need that. I never plug a video in. You put extra USB port there.
Yeah. Now you got now it's
have you
serviceable.
ever had the problem of the charge cord dangling out from the side wherever it's at, and it's kind of at the wrong side of the computer? It would be so much nicer if it's on the right side instead of the left.
I
You
don't
can
know how
just
many
move it around.
I don't know how many times I've had that exact thought where I'm like, I go to plug in my laptop, I'm like, it'd be handy if it was on this side instead of this side, or vice versa,
But this, you just move it around.
Yeah, that's one of those little things. You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of, and this affects me more than half the over half the population. But when you go to, say, pay with your credit card or debit card at any business, and you use the machine where you pop your card in, and then you got to sign with the little electrical thing. You got to sign the screen there. For right-handed people, that's set up for you. If you're a lefty, 9 times out of 10, those are not set up for us. They put the pens on the left side.
Right.
So when we're trying to write, that cord's all in the way and everything else. But for right-handed folks, it's easily boom right there.
Right.
So to me, I look at that every time and I think, why can't they make something more universal for that works equally? But this was designed by a right-handed person, and so we as us lefties in society have to adapt.
Hate to say, but we don't think too much about other people. We think we do, but.
Right? But those people in that business, come up with one that's either ambidextrous or whatever you want to call that, something that works equally easy for a lefty or a righty here. So anyway, but these are computers that you've embraced. So are you? Are you able to get them in stock and everything with the way supply and demand?
I keep one in stock with some different parts on it.
Okay.
I keep the i5 in stock. I use the i7 myself.
Okay.
Of course, there's nothing else available because they only build good stuff.
Sure.
So, like I always say, they shouldn't build that low-end, cheap processors, whatever. They can't run Windows, really, They technically they do, but...
Sure.
If you go like, well, it's already going, oh, there it goes. That idea on the slow end, why not build better ones? So these guys don't even bother with an i3 even.
Okay.
But an i3, in my point, would be good, but I can see why they don't do that.
Gotcha.
If you're willing to pay the extra for it, you don't mind paying higher up.
Sure. Well, and the adage is true in computers as it is in everything else. You get what you pay for, and quality does cost more than access. When you get a low-end computer,
I think it has to do also with support and things like. It's not just more thought put in. I think these folks do think about left and right side.
Gotcha.
Can we make it for both people?
Sure.
And whereas the other brands more like. Everybody's right-handed, so this should work fine.
Sure.
Something like, I don't know. It's the attitude.
Well, I wonder maybe if it's the ideology of design. Like, we're looking at framework here, and these people are obviously saying, we're trying to design a computer that's adaptable as technology changes, as people's desires or for what they need in a computer change. We're building one to allow them to grow with that. Whereas your Apple, Dell, whatever, when they build their computers, the mindset is, okay, we're trying to get a computer for a $400 price point. Make that happen. You make us a computer that we can sell mass marketed for $400, and we don't care what it. You know what I mean? I think like Dell or those companies are looking like, we want to make computers that someone can walk in with $600 and buy, and we don't really care if it's good. You know, or not good is the right word, but they're thinking, we're trying to make a cheap computer that's affordable to get them to buy it. I don't care if it lasts.
Yeah, but it's like so many things. It's not true. How do I put it? You say one thing, but you do another thing type of deal. Just because you make it cheaper, it could have been better. You know, it's under the guise of, well, we make something affordable for you.
Yeah.
But I think the real process, how can we make more money? You know, and I honestly believe that it's like, you know what, make these low-end, lousy machines, they'll figure out that they don't work for them, and then they'll have to buy another one.
Sure.
And I honestly believe that it's more that thinking than let's make a cheap one.
Yeah.
You know, and you could make cheaper by other means. You know, and then the other thing that Apple has that problem is gotta look pretty, sleek, nice. You know, I always use the phone as an example. Why do you make a phone like a bar of soap? You can't hold on to it. Oh, there it goes. You know, why not make it? Everybody, not everybody, okay? Everybody puts a case on it because you break it. I don't have a case on mine, and I've got insurance on it. The insurance is called "Don't Drop It," you know, or you pay. Yeah. But you know, you get the idea. I think I'm better off not having a case on it because I'm every time I pick it up, I'm more careful. I have no case on it.
Yeah, you're more gentle with it.
Right, and then with the case, you start thinking, "Oh, I'm protected," and then you drop it, it breaks anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but why not make it like what the case is on the outside, little rubbery or something like that?
You'd think they would design it that way, but I'm guessing because they probably have partnerships with the companies that make the cases, and if they make a phone that doesn't require a case, then you know what I mean? I really think that that's a business partnership thing where they have to have some kind of agreements with them.
A lot of people are asking for the nice-looking thing, maybe. No, not the nice looking. They want it to look kind of nice, but they also asking for something that's durable and rugged and doesn't break easily. But the companies make these things. They keep making them slick like a bar of soap and with a glass back on it, and it's pretty and shiny, whatever. And then, of course, we as customers, we consumers, whatever, we keep buying them.
Sure.
You know,
I think it's just so they can brag. I think there's certain, it's generational or age-wise. You know, I think obviously older folks are looking for phones and they're thinking, I don't care what it looks like. I want it to do X, X, and X.
To go back to our age, it's like I got a Rolex.
Yeah. Whereas younger folks look at a phone as a status symbol and they're like, I don't care that it does, I don't know, I want the iPhone X because I can tell people I'm carrying whatever the latest 12 or 13, whatever they're up to, and I don't know. But I think for some younger folks, just the fact they're like, oh, I got the Apple 12 or 17 or whatever they're up to now. I think the Galaxy, I think there's like younger folks, like that means something to them to say that I have an app, even though it could be a piece of garbage, but because status-wise, it's like,
like everything else.
Yeah, it's just like everything else, and phones have gotten that way where, and then you hit a certain age, you're like, I don't give a
it needs to work.
It's
a tool.
Yeah.
I use it as a tool. I was going to buy the new, what's the thing called? The Google phone.
Oh, yeah.
And then on the show, we talk about, they 4 people that are on the show bought one, and only Leo Laporte's happy with it.
Okay.
The other guys were like, what's his name that does the, what you call it, the Microsoft show? Paul Thurrott.
Yeah.
Paul Thurrott had one, and he gave up on it. He bought him an Apple phone.
Interesting.
An iPhone. He says, I just, and then he reports on it, and he says, the iPhone is so much better in how everything works and works together, whatever. But I do miss the freedom of whatever I want to do. But
sure.
I just can't do it with the Pixel, Pixel 6 phone?
Yeah, whatever it is now.
And I think it's straightened out a little bit. Then the other thing is apparently very heavy. So my phone's still good. It's getting a little older, and I thought, well, maybe I'll get me another one. Sounds like this one's really nice, especially with the cameras in it.
Yeah.
And it's faster and whatever. This fast enough still, and there's no reason to buy one. Well, when that worked, I was lucky. They didn't have any that I wanted. So I said, well, I'm not in a hurry. Mine's working. So I'll wait another week or two or month, whatever. And then the word came out that they weren't doing quite right. So
it was you kind of dodged a bullet there a little bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It sounds now like, in these devices, software is very important.
Is Google going to turn to Microsoft and every other phone's going to be good, like the Windows?
They were talking about it yesterday on the show, and they said it was baloney. I kind of feel that way, that one Windows was good, the other one not. But again, Paul Thurrott said, no, that's not quite true either.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Yeah. It's, well, and I think they're really, just my opinion, I think they're all kind of in a battle of fighting what they want is proprietized versus ease of use. And because obviously Apple's very much, all Apple. They want you to use Apple in their Apple world with their Apple things.
Yeah,
and all,
the problem is that everybody, it's just a capitalistic state, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody, how do I put it? Oh, the one with the most marbles wins type of attitude,
Sure.
And we don't have regard really for the environment, for the other people, whatever. We see it in the restaurant industry. People don't want to come back and be a waiter anymore. Get mistreated by the customers and not paid enough.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. I mean, and then you wonder why they're having trouble filling.
Then, of course, we look at what's happening with Russia out there. Mm-hmm. We see boats that are how big for a yacht?
Oh.
those oligarchs that have that, we have them here too. People don't get paid in the restaurant, but the big folks have so much money laying around, it's just not funny.
Sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know.
I was going to ask the other question I want to ask, and this is kind of getting on topic but off topic.
Okay.
When we were talking about framework and what they do, in the world we live in now with COVID and even now with the war on and supply and demand and all that, are we seeing a lot of knockoff stuff coming out more and more, like chips and things that aren't?
I don't see it at this point.
Yeah.
I've not heard about it. There was a problem with these solid-state drives, that some of them are not up to spec as they say they are. It's not that they don't work, whatever, but they may not be as fast as they claim they are because they put the wrong chips in it or something like that. And at first it looked like just what I was talking about. They're cheaping out so they can make more money. Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like for a little bit. But apparently that's not true. They can't get some of the chips that need to go in it. And their sticker hasn't changed. And they've just been making them with whatever they could get.
Gotcha.
So I'm not sure what to believe all on that. But it makes some sense that would happen. This is not malicious making more money.
Sure.
This is forgotten to update the information on it because we had to scramble to get stuff. You get busy with less people.
Yeah.
So
a step was
not
omitted.
Sure. That was what was that, about 3-4 months ago when that happened. And I heard about that. I haven't heard any more about it. So I don't know if it's straightened out or people just don't care no more with the stuff going on in the world or.
Yeah, that's true. The bigger.
But we do see a little bit more of the 11th generation. Processors coming. We had a little bit hard time getting those on my end anyway, especially on the little NUCs that we built. Mm-hmm. We still 10s are available, and 11s you got to be kind of snatching them up if you find them. But they are getting available. So unfortunately, the 12th generation is out now.
Oh wow!
Even though they're just out, so that's kind of new. But
what about like the other the peripherals of computers, printers? Monitors, things like that. Are those equally hard to get as computers and things too? Because
I think it's hard to get what you want.
Gotcha.
You know,
you can get a printer, but if you're looking for a certain printer, you may
not get that one. Yes.
Yeah, gotcha. So if you're like, I just need a printer, well, here's a printer. But you're like, I want a LaserJet, inkjet, blah blah blah, with this.
Yeah, I want this model with these features on it that may then not be in the brand you want or whatever.
Gotcha.
I see that a lot.
Okay.
Your monitors, you find a monitor, the back side, like your monitor over here, you can hang a nook on that monitor because it has the wall mount. Is not mounted with the stand.
Okay.
What many monitors mount. Where the wall mount is where the stand's mounted.
Okay.
What makes sense because you take a stand off to mount it on the wall, so that would work. But, if you look at yours on the back, there's 4 screws you can put in and hang the nook on the back.
Okay.
Well, you want that, and you want it with speakers built in. And then you find that you can find the one with speakers, but not the thing on the back, or the thing on the back with not the speakers.
Gotcha.
So it's more of a compromise.
Okay. So you got to be good at adapting or jerry-rigging sometimes.
Right.
Some
So
of these.
far, you can get anything done you need, but not with quite what you wanted.
Gotcha.
I wanted a Ford, but I ended up with a Chevy. I don't really like the Chevy so much, but I can't get the Ford in the model that I want.
And I got a job to do, and I need a vehicle. Yeah,
that
makes
kind
sense.
of thinking, something like that.
Okay. So basically, if you're looking to buy peripherals and things, be flexible is probably the best advice on some of that. Is if you've got your heart set on something particular,
Yeah, don't be too picky.
Be prepared to wait it out or compromise.
Right. And then, of course, as always, and don't forget your passwords.
Yes, that's something
I have to hammer on it because I've just run into problem with it. Somebody.
Well, and I think what it is we all know we're supposed to, but it's just.
No, we don't know we're supposed to. I think is what the problem is. It's this doesn't go on from today to tomorrow to next week. This goes on. You get a computer.
Yeah.
And you don't know what to do with it, really. You kind of feel there's a button to turn it on, whatever. But your neighbor comes over, you got a computer. Let me help you with that. Well, you need to do this, set this up. Now, keep this password that we signed up. Oh, what password? What? You know what I mean? You're just trying to keep up with what's happening.
Sure.
And then it gets written down on a piece of scrap paper. It's amazing how many people bring these little pieces of scrap paper.
With all their little notes on it.
Yeah, and they have the passwords and stuff on it. And then what happens is, do you want it to keep the password and make it automatically? Yeah, that'd be good because I don't know if I can remember all this. Exactly where the problem starts. Now, the machine gets to go and the person using it gets better at it, starts to realize what they want to do with it. They use it that way. And then 6 years later, the thing don't turn on. And it's like, well, you got your whatchamacallit bad. We fix it. And then it got reset in a process where the password doesn't enter in automatically no more, and it's lost.
And you don't remember it because you haven't put it in.
Typically it's like, okay, Mike, what is the login name?
And they're like, I don't know.
I don't know what login name. Okay, if I send you an email, what do I send it to? Mike at the radio station.com, whatever, And they know that most of the time, not always even. And it's like, how do you tell people to send you an email if you don't know what it is?
Right.
Anyway, then what's the password with it? I don't have one.
It's like,
yes, everybody has one.
Yeah.
No, I don't. And why do you say that? Well, it goes in by itself. Well, that doesn't mean you don't have no password.
It's just automatically.
It's like modern equipment. You walk up to a modified lock on the door, and it talks to your phone when you have it on you, and it opens up for you.
Sure.
There's no lock on it because I just walk in.
It's like,
well,
there
I
is.
can. And then the other thing that always surprises me is, so you're at the point where you put in your credentials, your login name, so Pete at email.com or something like that, and then the password, and it doesn't work or it's forgotten or whatever. And at that point, it's amazing how many questions I get all the time. Well, can we put another one in? Well, yeah, I'm standing in front of your door.
Right.
And your key is lost. So you ask me, can I use your key to open my lockup?
Your password would be very good if it worked that way.
Right. And yes, you can change the password. Once you put the original password in and get in, then you can change it.
Exactly. But you got to know the key to get in. It's kind of like, you can change the locks on your door, but the locksmith ain't going to do it unless you know they have a key to get into the first place. You know what I mean?
And, and it all stems from not understanding it. And then on the technology end, Now the pipeline got hacked into and we can't get gas. Now this is happening and we can't do that. And they tightening up all these passwords, The sending it to your phone for a confirmation. Well, that's a good idea. Sounds great. Well, in my situation, I have to take care of September sitting at home.
Yeah.
And she has some accounts, and then I'm at work, and the bank has it. I get me a new machine, and I log into the bank and say, I need to get my code because it's an unknown machine. There's my code. I type it in. Okay, I need to check up on her account because I take care of that. And it's like, we send a message to her phone. I don't have that with me.
Right.
So, yeah, it's better, but it's not ideal
I've done
either.
it a couple times, too, where I get a thing and I call my wife, like, hey, what's the code for the verification I just
Or
put
what
in?
we get is that people tie their landline, for the people that still have that, to a text message for confirmation. So we're going to text to your landline.
How's that going to happen?
And then what I find really stupid is we used to have text or a message. And more and more the message is gone, only text. The people in power that tell us what we need to use, I think they think that nobody uses a landline no more and that everybody has a good cell phone. An old flip phone that can't do certain things, whatever. And then, of course, the answer is, well, you'll just get a better phone then. I don't.
You don't want to.
No.
This one works, so I like it. This is what I want, Yeah.
Eventually, you get to the point that it's just expected that you have certain things.
Sure.
A phone is probably one of the things. Everybody has some kind of a phone accessibility. We don't see many pay phones outside.
No, you
everybody
can't
has
find
phones.
one anymore. Yeah.
Right. So, eventually it changes, but in the process of changing it, there's people that need to do things.
Need the old school or old-fashioned way to do it.
And then what always amazes me, if we talk about old stuff, why are we still faxing?
I never get that one.
That should have been gone for the last at least 20 years.
To be honest,
doesn't make any sense.
There's no benefit to faxing.
No.
Like, you can even e-sign now, so if that was like the one...
The only thing that I can see what hangs on is that I have a piece of paper in my hand, and when you get the fax, you have a piece of paper in your hand, and somehow that makes it like it's not being monkeyed with or changed or whatever.
Like back before they wouldn't do electronic signatures and things like that.
Same thing.
Then you could see a value in a fax, but past that, you really don't need it. It was just and I remember in its heyday, it was as bad as email. You get spam faxes. Remember that?
Right.
You used to get, and all of a sudden your fax machine go off, and it's an advertisement for printer ink or something like that.
That's why we quit the fax machine when we first got in business, and we put the fax on the computer with a modem and fax. Remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And then if the fax would come in, it would just go in a file, and then we could just look through it without having a bunch of paper laying on the floor.
Especially with that one, some certain fax machines that had that curly paper. It wasn't like the flat, and so like half the time, they'd be half rolled up and look like little notes out of a bottle laying on the floor.
Talking about that thermal paper.
Yeah. And then I remember going to the old the computer stores and getting the big boxes and reams of the paper with the lines on the side for the old your Epson dot printer.
Right.
Oh man.
Ring.
Although sometimes I miss those things. There's a certain I don't know, just
the same thing
nostalgic
again.
thing for me.
They're still in use for certain things, and mainly because people want copies of stuff.
Sure.
So they get that carbon type paper that So you got the white one, the yellow one, and the pink one, or something like that. And then you sign one and you keep one there and whatever. They still do that. And again, it is because you want to have the original sort of in your hand or something like that. But in this modern world, don't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, and then some people, it's just mindsets, embracing. That's how they did it, their lives. That's how they know it. And when someone tries to tell them to do it a different way, they're like, "No, I've been doing it my whole life this way.
Right?
Who are you to tell me that I need to do it a different way?"
Yeah, we're very flexible when we're young.
Yeah.
And then we get stuck in our ways.
Yep. Yeah, I completely get that. But You know, and in all fairness, I think the right answer on some of that stuff is a little bit of both. Embrace new stuff, but at the same time, let's not try to change things we don't need to be changing if it works. You know what I mean? And that's,
don't fix it if it ain't broke.
Yeah.
But if something better comes along,
take advantage.
I kind of see it with the electric stuff going. I'm pretty heavy into. Yes, I think we have global warming.
Yeah.
And we need to do something about it. So I got now almost solar on my roof at a house and at the store.
Good.
It's all installed. Whatever. Just the electric company needs to hook it up. That's what we're waiting on.
Okay.
Then I can actually see how it works. But, I have the people come in the store, if I talk about it, they say, well, does it really work? I think it does.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't quite work as good as it does, it at least helps.
Sure.
Well,
if nothing else, you're having a cheaper electric bill.
Lately, with everything happening in the world, I hope it gets hooked up because I plan on getting an electric car. And then when I drive by the gas station, I laugh at you filling your tank up for what at that time, $8 a gallon possibly?
Yeah.
And I just plug mine in my solar system and charge it up.
Sure. Of course, we got to learn on the lithium batteries because
we don't do batteries.
Yeah.
Well, in the car we do, but I mean.
But I know, like for environment, I don't think those lithium batteries are the answer for environments either because that does just as much damage to the earth.
No, I don't think so. It's different damage.
Yeah.
It's you got your heating up and you got your polluting.
Yeah.
Look at that plastic in the ocean.
Sure.
If we make this plastic where we don't make the plastic that doesn't dissolve or break up, we can make that different plastic these days, but it costs a little bit more, and that's where we don't do it again.
Sure. Yeah.
I think this is where the lithium battery problem is, but most of them start using a lot of recycled stuff and things like that too.
Sure.
And you got to pay attention to that. It's not polluting too much. But I think the winner definitely is the not burning up the fossil fuels because I think that's not good.
Yeah. Well, I'm all for that and going to better, but we got to have something that works before you just throw the baby out with the bathwater.
See, that's I'm not saying throw it out. I'm saying put way more effort in the new stuff.
I agree with that.
Maintain
I completely agree with that. But at the same time, we don't need to be crapping on the people that are providing us
Anybody that thinks cut oil off and go electric. No, you can't cut it off, but you can definitely work on making it better.
Sure. And that's what I think the problem is you got people that are ready to like, shut it off now. It's like, you can't do that. If you want all those things that you love and enjoy in your life right now, you need oil and gas till you figure out how to do those different
The way I'm seeing it, I may miss it, but another 30 years, you may not enjoy nothing because there is no more outside life.
Yeah.
Look at all the fires and the floods and the things happening.
Sure.
There.
That's true.
Worse than they've ever been, in as far as I can see. I was talking to my cousin in Germany, and he said, yeah, it's changed here. So I've been gone, about 40 years now from there? He said, we were talking about solar. It has changed now, he says. He says it seems to be half a year of cloudy and the other half a year of full sun. And that's in Germany, where they used to have, on and off, on and off.
Sure.
And off. It seems like the whole summer has gotten hotter and cloudless. And where he lives anyway.
Okay.
And the winter is full of clouds and rain. He lives right in that area where that big flood was in Germany.
Okay.
He lives about 5 kilometers away from it.
Okay. Interesting.
So about 3 miles or so.
And I don't know. I know just from my time in the military and stuff, Europe, how things are done here and how things are in Europe, and just even the lifestyle, the way people, everything. I wonder if that contributes to just more pollution in Europe than here. Just the way, I don't know. It's just everyone seems more compact over in Europe, where unless you're on the
always
coast,
have done with less.
Yeah.
I think when people move to the Americas here, and start building this up. We had newer technology, the ships, the whatever, that was modern technology. So, and then they were looking probably at the streets and whatever they had. With all the land available,
sure.
In Europe, you say, well, we can make a bigger street than this. We don't need bigger. We walk and then we have a horse type of deal. Yeah. And at that time, and when we came over here, it's let's make a street 3 times wide because we can do that.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the difference is.
Yeah. Well, I know, like when I went in Italy, I mean, everyone there either rides the little mini scooters or walks or bikes
Well,
or
you can,
drives a car that's...
You can
that's
even
like,
see the difference here. If you go to the East Coast, stuff is smaller than when you go to L.A. and
you
whatever.
don't see nearly as many pickup trucks back east in the cities and stuff as you do out here in
and
New
the streets
Mexico.
are smaller because, that was built earlier.
And things go up.
Once we had cars and things and, and more equipment to build bigger streets, easier, we started doing that.
Yeah. But it's an interesting debate.
Yeah, you can go on for hours.
Let's bring it back, Angus. We're almost out of time here. Of course,
I see that.
Folks, if you need help with the computers, John can help with all that. He that's what he does. And I know in this age right now where people are looking to make more use out of what they got versus going and buying new, John could be your friend.
That's what I'm all about. I'm trying to make stuff that is still workable, work as long as I can.
Yeah.
And if it's not workable because whatever reason, I'll let you know. I'll be straight. If it's better to replace it, I'll tell you why I think that is.
Yeah.
If you, on the other hand, still want to use it, fine.
Yeah.
Well, one simple example is working on an old computer. I may work an hour on it, so we'll charge you for an hour. But the same procedure on a new machine may only take 20 minutes.
Right.
We charge for 20 minutes. So now how worthwhile is the old computer?
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't be, what do they say, penny wise and pounds full.
Yeah, unless you're just uber stubborn.
Yeah.
Of course, give out your hours. I know you do your Monday through Friday morning hours.
We still have 8 to 1 sort of, but I've learned the lesson that if I want to leave at 1, I'm now having the times posted from 8 till 12:30. At 12:30, last people come in, I have half an hour to handle it.
Okay.
So expect me to be gone at 12:30, 12:45 if nobody is in there at the time.
Gotcha.
You could find me till 1 if some people showed up at 12:30. So
gotcha.
Half an hour give me enough time to finish that off.
Sure, absolutely. But so come by in the mornings there, and if it's like you said, it's a little problems.
Give me a call, make sure that I'm there, whatever.
Yeah.
575-625-9141.
Yeah. And, of course, located behind the Wool Bowl
Wool
there.
Bowl. We're on Garden, not Atkinson.
That's
right behind the Wool Bowl, next to the railroad.
That's right. Can't miss it. Come on by. And then, of course, if you're looking for new computer stuff as well, he can help you build one too. So if
we got new in stock, we got used, we got refurbished, we got all kinds of stuff.
You do. And even if you're looking for technical, like if you're ready to cut cords or get off your doing all that kind of stuff,
if you want to buy one and you found a good deal somewhere, stop by and ask me if it's a good deal.
Sure.
We'll tell you. We've been in a situation where people brought some ad in for something. Oh, what? Let me run over there and get a few.
Yeah.
Because the price was
sure.
unbeatable.
You're looking at like, hey, that's a good value.
And then for the same, you got some people bring some stuff and it's like, no, that's junk. Spend $75 more, you got a good one.
Yeah.
But that one is just not going to cut it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That happens more often than not. So.
It happens mostly around Christmas time. When
the deals.
So when people come by and show me what you got.
Black Friday deals can be great, but they can be very dangerous in the electronics world too, or not dangerous.
Probably everywhere.
Yeah, but particularly I know in electronics. There's a reason why they're giving you $100
well,
TV.
You need to know what you're buying and what you use it for.
Mm-hmm.
If that's understood and you understand what you're buying, you have no problem.
Yeah, you get your value out of it.
That's where I come in. I can tell you.
That makes sense.
This one I would buy and this one I wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then I can tell you why.
Yeah.
So, and don't put any extra antivirus on it. It's built into Windows. It's another savings that we don't have to waste money on.
Yeah.
It's not going to do any better.
I imagine that's a generational mindset too, depending on when you got to that age where you got into computers.
No, yes, maybe. It has also to do with the companies adding the antivirus from McAfee, Norton, whatever, with it, because they get a kickback from McAfee, Norton, and whomever when they put it on. So people then buy one, think, well, that must be put on by the manufacturer. It must be good.
Most of McAfee and Norton's probably business comes that way. So
right. So not
very
needed.
Good. Well, thank you, John. As always, appreciate the visit.
Very good.
And have a great weekend and week. We'll see you here next time, okay?
We'll be back.
All right. Take care. It is 7:54. Let's do a quick news update, quick break before we go into more news. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update. I'm Jared Cirillo. Two Roswell men charged in separate but unrelated homicides. Each recently pleaded no contest and were sentenced in district court under plea deals with the DA's office. Each of the cases was investigated by Roswell police, and each suspect was arrested less than 24 hours after he fatally shot the victims. In the first case, 39-year-old Jimmy Joseph Aragon was sentenced in January to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder for the death of his girlfriend, Jasmine Martinez, in December of 2019. Aragon also received 5.5 years in prison for being a felon in possession of a firearm. In the second case, 34-year-old Jack Salcido was sentenced in February to a prison term of 2.5 years for involuntary manslaughter for the death of his sister, Crystal Smith, whom he accidentally shot in February of last year while drinking and playing with a gun. You're up to date. That's local headlines. I'm Jared Zarello.
No matter who you are, you have some opinion about Elon Musk. His two biggest companies are Tesla and SpaceX. And then there's Starlink, the soon-to-be global internet service provider. Starlink is the company, and Elon Musk is the man, that you're going to both love and hate. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by CarShield. Protect your car from expensive repairs. Visit carshield.com/Kim and save 10%. Deductible may apply. Starlink is launching more than 12,000 small satellites into low Earth orbit. You'll hate Musk because if you live where the skies are really dark at night, say goodbye to that forever. His satellites will leave light streaks everywhere. The internet service they provide is slow and costly, but you'll love him because the service will be everywhere, including Ukraine. He has enough in orbit to keep Ukrainians connected, no matter what Russia does. And I, for one, really wish that Putin had taken up Elon Musk's offer to wrestle one-on-one for Ukraine. And get more breaking tech news at commando.com. During this great reshuffle, a record number of employees are switching jobs. Now's your chance to attract them. LinkedIn Jobs is here to help you connect with the people you want to interview faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Jobs to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Then add your job and the purple hashtag hiring frame to your LinkedIn profile. This way, you'll spread the word that you're hiring. Your network can help you find the right people to hire. Simple tools like screening questions make it easy to focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience. You can quickly prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim to post your job for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, New Mexico. Experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Well, we're used to seeing more action midweek, especially on Tuesdays for the high school sports schedule. But yesterday we only had really one game on tap. That was Goddard beating Clovis 1-0. We're not entirely sure that was the actual final score, but we do believe Goddard softball won that ball game. Now, we do have a lot of action going on Thursday because of tournaments. For instance, the Hal Boggle tournament in Dexter. You've got the Dexter Demons playing against Loving. That's at 7 o'clock. And then earlier in the day, NMMI at 3-0 will be taking on Capitan. Gateway Christian will be at the Eunice tournament, the Cardinal Classic, at 4 o'clock on Thursday. And Goddard will be taking on Clovis at the Artesia tournament Thursday morning at 10. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
This time of year, we all like to have fun talking about four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, and the luck of the Irish. But when it comes to finding a nice pre-owned vehicle you can really count on, you need more than just luck. You need a dealer like Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Great looking late model pickups, SUVs, sports cars, and family sedans. But more important than how they look is how they run, so Roswell Ford puts every one through a rigorous 139-point inspection. On top of that, Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee, so if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. That's a lot more than luck. That's true peace of mind. And if you really have a nice car or truck you'd like to sell, please bring it by. We'll look it over and make you an offer on the spot. So when you're ready to move up to a newer vehicle, don't take chances. Come see your friends at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, and leave your rabbit's foot at home.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Addressing Congress via video link, appealing for more help for his country in the face of Russia's invasion.
I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Wearing his now trademark Army Green t-shirt, Zelensky thanked the United States for its military support and humanitarian assistance, but he made a direct appeal to America's leaders to do more. Specifically, he asked for a military-enforced no-fly zone over Ukraine.
Is this a lot to ask for, to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine to save people? Is this too much to ask?
Zelensky, who also requested more sanctions on Russia, appealed to an American audience, asking them to remember the horrors of Pearl Harbor and the 9/11 attacks. He said the innocent people of Ukraine are being attacked in the same way every day.
And holding their first meeting since the start of Putin's war, NATO defense ministers continue shying away from a no-fly zone, according to the BBC's Jonathan Beale in Brussels.
It's clearly what Ukraine wants. They're not going to get it, though, from NATO. That is not something that they want to do because it would get the alliance directly involved in the conflict. And as one official told me yesterday, the consequences of that, the risk of that would be astronomical.
Peace talks continue along with unrelenting Russian missile and artillery fire targeting cities all across Ukraine, setting apartment buildings ablaze, leaving smoldering wreckage everywhere. As for the peace talks, there is some talk of progress, cautiously optimistic statements from both sides, but nothing firmed up as of yet. On Wall Street this morning, so far, stocks have been sharply higher. Right now, the Dow is up about 348 points. The Nasdaq ahead 278, the S&P 61 points higher. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters. Or someone your realtor or friend recommends. And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage. And then you feel like you missed out, because you probably did miss out. And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLS-Consumer-Access.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. My bracket NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
A UN appeal for Yemen, hoping to raise $4.25 billion to alleviate what it describes as the world's worst humanitarian crisis. 161,000 people likely to experience famine there this year. The virtual pledging conference, co-hosted by Sweden and Switzerland, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres will address donors on the dire needs of the Arab world's poorest country. The conference comes as world's attention is gripped by the war in Ukraine. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says talks are moving forward for the release of a British woman who's been detained by Iran for close to 6 years. Johnson confirms a negotiating team is at work in Tehran to free the woman who holds dual UK-Iranian citizenship. Johnson's remarks were made on a visit to the Middle East, coming a day after Iran returned the passport of the charity worker. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. The coronavirus hitting close to home for the vice president.
The White House says second gentleman Doug Emhoff has tested positive for COVID-19. It says Vice President Harris continues to test negative, but a spokesperson says Harris would not participate in the planned Equal Pay Day event on Tuesday evening at the White House with President Biden. Biden and Harris appeared together during the afternoon and mingled with lawmakers at an event marking the signing of a $1.5 trillion government funding measure. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said Biden had tested negative for COVID-19 on Sunday. Norman Hall, Washington.
A Senate committee approving what's described as a bipartisan blueprint to overhaul the country's public health system. The plan aims to apply the lessons of COVID-19 to future outbreaks through a new chain of command, along with a stronger medical supply chain and clearer crisis communications. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday. Hope you're having a good one.
Yeah, buddy.
If not, a lot of time to turn it around.
That's right. Plenty of time today, plenty of time for the rest of the week.
Of course, the glass half empty person says, yeah, it's going good, but a lot of time to screw it up, too.
Yep. But hey, Captain Optimism's taught me anything.
That's right.
Keep that glass half full.
Who'd win a fight between Captain Obvious and Captain Optimism?
Well, I got to imagine Captain Obvious, because he's going to go for the more obvious, ways to talk
Do you
him
think
down.
Captain Optimism would see it coming and have a plan
he
for
would, but he would
a
also
retort?
he would also opt for a more amicable solution.
Yeah, but would see it coming.
He would see it. I don't know. I don't think he would see it coming, though. He's optimistic. He would.
Yeah, but if he's going against Captain Obvious, then the obvious thing is what he's going to anticipate.
What about Captain Anticipation? Who would win in a fight between Captain Obvious and Captain Anticipation? Because Captain Anticipation would anticipate what Captain Obvious was going to do because it'd be obvious. But Captain Obvious would obviously not be able to anticipate what Captain Anticipation was going to do. So I feel like maybe Captain Anticipation would have a little bit of an edge on that.
Maybe. Captain Optimism would beat them all, though.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Well, he's got that diamond cutter thing he does from out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
That's
his signature move.
Yeah. The OKO.
Why aren't there more wrestlers named Captain something or another?
I think it got played out in the 80s.
Captain Insano. Pass that.
Captain Insano. Who is, by the way, I think I mentioned this, making a comeback.
Yeah, I think you told me that. Yeah.
Yeah. Tony Khan, the president CEO of All Elite Wrestling, has opted to purchase the rights for Captain Insano.
Interesting.
And he has Paul White in his roster. So
the only way that works is if you get Adam Sandler to introduce you.
True. Tony's got that kind of money.
And that whole water boy voice with the Captain Insano.
I feel like he can still pull that off.
I think he could, too.
Yeah, he totally could.
Because he literally, that's the same voice he does for half his character.
Exactly. I mean, look at Hubie Halloween.
It's always that, you guys, it's the same one. But we laugh every time.
I literally think about the way he danced in the movie Airheads. Like every time I'm backing up, like if I'm backing myself up, for some reason I always do that.
That with the big O face, like.
Yep. Yep. You gotta work in the O face. Yeah, exactly. The dance he does in Airheads, it's embedded in my head.
Yeah.
Just like when I'm in a swimming pool, I always do the thing. I wish I was in one right now so I could spin around in it like an egg.
All right, since we're talking Airheads, since you mentioned, I got to ask this question.
Okay.
Related but not related. One of my favorite actors of all time is in that movie.
Okay.
a guy by the name of Steve Buscemi.
Ah.
So I got to ask.
Okay.
From a Steve Buscemi fan, what is your favorite Steve Buscemi movie?
It's a toss-up between that and Con Air.
Okay.
Because I really like
he's got a lot of
creepy
delightful
performance
parts.
in Con Air. He was so weird in Con Air.
Yeah. Mine's a little different.
Okay.
Fargo.
Well, he was great
I
in
loved
Fargo.
him in Fargo.
He was
The
great
whole
in Fargo.
pancakes, the interaction between him and that dude through the whole movie. That made the movie for me. Like the movie's good. I love the movie. I love all aspects of it. The cast is great, but the interactions between Buscemi and that Russian dude or whatever in that whole movie made me laugh hard every time. And
Do you know that he just recently discovered he's been saying his own name wrong his whole life?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was on one of those, it's Buscemi.
Buscemi?
It was on one of those, genealogy shows or whatever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
like TLC or one of those did where they go to Europe and
I think it was
celebrities look up their family history.
It was like a PBS thing.
Okay.
It might have been.
I've seen a TLC version of it.
Okay.
It's probably the same show.
It probably is.
They just regurgitate on different channels.
But he's he found out that his family name is actually Buscemi. And so
tough. It's already in my head is Buscemi.
It's embedded in everybody else's head is Buscemi.
You'll never be Big Daddy starring Steve Buscemi. Not going to happen.
No. Just have the same ring to it,
And yes, he was the star of that movie. Not that kid like y'all think.
Right.
Sausage, McMuffin, egg.
Sausage. Sweets. That's great. That is great. I kind of forgot about his little role in
well, that's just
Big
it. He's
Daddy.
got so many little, and pretty much every Adam Sandler movie, he's got a little role in it somewhere. Any of his comedies, anyway. He just, I guess they're good buddies. He just pops up as that weird dude.
Yeah.
Which I remember seeing. I just saw the scene from Grown Ups. The first one where Buscemi is on the water swing in the pool, and he's going to do it upside down because he gets kind of dared into it, and that doesn't end well.
No, it does not.
It's good. He's in that body cast where he's stuck like it.
See, that's what I want to go back and rewatch. Is Grown Ups. I haven't seen that in a long time.
That one just ends up on my TV a lot for some reason. I don't know why. We're just changing channels, and then all of a sudden, Grown Ups is on, and I don't know how it happens. It just happens.
It feels like the most unnecessary movie of all time.
Well, followed by Grown Ups 2, of course.
Yeah, right. Right. Like, literally, and Grown Ups 2 is worse because there's so little...
But I laugh just as hard. Because
there's so little plot.
I know, but Shaq is a fool in that movie, and he makes me laugh.
No, he is... Yeah, totally. It's like, in both of those movies, conflict itself doesn't even exist. And that's mind-boggling to someone who, watches and knows movies. It's like, you need a conflict. But this is just guys getting together and it's literally like the Jackass movies, but with a script.
Yeah, the antagonists are barely antagonists.
Barely.
I mean, if you're going to give an antagonist in that movie, it's probably, now his name just went right out of my head. He was on SNL, Remote Control. What's his name?
Oh, Colin Quinn?
Colin Quinn, thank you.
I was going to say Taylor Lautner a little bit. But
yeah, a little bit. And Colin Quinn a little bit. But past that, that's about it. So, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to do a dissertation on Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2. But
sorry, it started with Airheads, dude. We were obscure from the get-go.
Yeah, but Airheads is a cult classic.
It is.
I mean, and Grown Ups is fine. But, it's not Airheads. That's a cult classic. There's a certain, if you're an 80s metal fan, then you've got a soft spot for the movie Airheads. You just do.
I would think that, or someone who's, passionate about radio.
Yeah.
Because that's what it really did for me was it ignited the whole love of radio for me.
Yeah. By the way, this is going to make people mad. Kramer in that movie was a detriment, not an addition. I didn't enjoy his part in that movie.
I didn't, but he played a foil. It was necessary part of the movie.
Yeah, it was, but the character.
I definitely did not enjoy his.
That could have been anybody other than Kramer, and I've been just, you know what I mean? It didn't need to be him.
Right.
It almost made it more annoying that it was Kramer, because it was literally Kramer as Airheads.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. I'm like, that belongs on Seinfeld. That does not belong on
So
Airheads.
you mean the role was necessary, but him playing the role was not? Okay, that was my argument.
Because to me, he just played Kramer on Airheads.
I would agree with that.
I didn't like that.
I don't necessarily know who I would get to fill that role. I guess maybe David Spade could have pulled that off.
Yeah.
In that same kind of crowd and vein, because Chris Farley he played the cop in it. So,
yeah.
I
don't see Farley crawling through air conditioner vents.
Yeah, that bit doesn't work when you weigh, Farley weight.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. But, yeah, that's just my opinion. And it had nothing to do with, he's been ostracized since for his stand-up. I just didn't think – it's just Kramer on Airheads. And there's enough funny in here. You don't need to do Kramer on Airheads.
It does seem like a lot of his – it was overplayed by him.
Yeah.
I feel like he was almost overdone. Like the whole scene with like him getting the snacks or him like burning his hand. Like all those scenes, they seem like they were overacted more than like a Kramer would.
Yeah. He's trying too hard.
He is.
Yeah. Anyway. So I was just going to say, I don't know how to wrap that up.
Yeah, there really is no...
Airheads. Go not see it today.
The Lone Rangers. I still randomly get the song Degenerated stuck in my head.
I wonder if Stuttering John has that movie on loop. Because that's like his high watermark was that movie.
Yeah, I made it.
His album was even songs are featured on it. He cameoed in it. It's his high watermark.
He still calls friends like, "Hey, Celluloid, I made it."
We're going to replay our interview. We had an awesome interview with Terry Lindbergh yesterday from Hippie Chicks, talking all about what they've got prom season, all that stuff. So we're going to replay our interview with Terry here in just a few minutes. Before we do any of that, though, let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks pretty good today and very warm, and then we'll get a big cool down on Thursday with a cold front moving in. Low 80s for the afternoon high today and lots of sunshine. Overnight will be clear and breezy. We'll drop to about 45. Then tomorrow, partly sunny. Our afternoon high stays in the upper 50s following that cold front, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 41 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 29%. Winds are calm at the moment. We're looking at a warm day today. Expect highs in the mid-80s, 85 and sunny today. West winds 5 to 10 this morning, picking up a little bit out of the south, 10 to 15 for this afternoon. We are going to see some winds moving in and bringing colder temperatures and stuff for tomorrow. So the 80s are short-lived. We're going to be dropping about 20, 25 degrees tomorrow. But enjoy today while it's there. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 44. West winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thursday, there is a 20% chance of rain showers for the afternoon. Mostly sunny. Highs, like I said earlier, 61. So we're going from 85 to 61. Winds will be coming with it. Breezy winds out of the west, 15 to 20. Later shifting to the north, 20 to 25. Gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, we're looking at a 20% chance of showers in the early evening hours before 7. Otherwise, mostly clear with an overnight low of 30. Blustery with north winds 15 to 25. Those will drop down 5 to 15 after midnight. Friday, mostly sunny. Highs once again lingering in the low 60s, 62. Winds much calmer out of the northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then a little warmer for the weekend. Sunny and 76 for your Saturday. Sunny and breezy on Sunday with highs back near 80. So we'll see how that shapes up. And then we're back to start next week, back down in the 60s with breezy weather and 20% chance of rain, looks like, for Monday and Tuesday there. We'll see if that lingers around by the time we get there, but we'll see. All right, it is 8:18. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to play our interview with Terry Lindbergh from Hippie Chicks on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
There's a whole universe out there. Come explore at the International UFO Museum and Research Center, featuring engaging exhibits and in-depth first-hand accounts of the incident that put Roswell on the map. The research library features the most comprehensive collection of UFO research materials in the world, and you can get exclusive one-of-a-kind gifts and merch from the gift shop or online at RoswellUFOmuseum.com. Don't forget about the UFO Festival, July 1st through 3rd, celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Roswell incident. The International UFO Museum and Research Center.
It's otherworldly.
Sometimes we put off important health needs like surgeries because, well, we worry about the pain and time needed for recovery. Dr. Paul Torres, a board-certified general surgeon, has joined Loveless Healthcare Center and is helping patients in the Roswell area get back to the lives they love with less pain and a faster recovery through advances in minimally invasive surgery. To find out if laparoscopic surgery is the best solution for you, call Loveless and make an appointment today at 575-625-3222.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter. Fergalicious. Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergie's Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergie's is on the job. Fergalicious.
This time of year, we all like to have fun talking about four-leaf clovers, rabbit's feet, and the luck of the Irish. But when it comes to finding a nice pre-owned vehicle you can really count on, you need more than just luck. You need a dealer like Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles in southeastern New Mexico. Great-looking late-model pickups, SUVs, sports cars, and family sedans. But more important than how they look is how they run, so Roswell Ford puts every one through a rigorous 139-point inspection. On top of that, Roswell Ford gives you a 3-day money-back guarantee, so if you find something you don't like, you can just bring it back. That's a lot more than luck. That's true peace of mind. And if you really have a nice car or truck you'd like to sell, please bring it by. We'll look it over and make you an offer on the spot. So when you're ready to move up to a newer vehicle, don't take chances. Come see your friends at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation, at the corner of 9th and Main, and leave your rabbit's foot at home.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
Morning, it is 19 minutes after 9. Good morning, it is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Hippie Chicks, Terry Lindbergh with us this morning. Good morning, Terry. How are you today?
Good morning, Mike. I am just fine.
Very good. Well, for folks that aren't familiar, how long has Hippie Chicks? It's been as long as I've been here,
18 years.
18 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Hippie Chicks there on South Main.
Yes.
Look for the lime green VW Bug on the roof.
Bell's all the way over there.
Yes.
Don't call it a beetle. It's a bug.
It's
right?
a bug.
Well, and I wonder if that's generational. Like, do you get, like, people our age probably that grew up, like, watching the original Love Bug movies and all that probably have a more love bug, but then people that didn't grow up to that maybe call it beetle. I don't know.
Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I
The
think
younger people are calling it beetle.
Yeah, you actually nailed it earlier. When I was a kid, they re-released the VW Beetle, and everybody was calling it the Beetle, which is so that was in the 90s when I was like a kid. So
Oh, rub that in too.
I'm just saying. So.
But and now I'm trying to think. Is there any other car named after an insect?
The Lotus.
Oh yeah, I guess the Lotus. Yeah.
That's just off the top of my head. Hang on, let me see.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it.
Okay.
People are screaming at their radios.
Of course, the
right
Lotus
now.
is a lot more expensive to cut in half and put up on top of your building. Yeah. I'm curious though. Where's the story of that car that sits up there? Was that your car?
No.
I'm just curious. I always wanted to know that.
I think it came out of Artesia.
Okay. I've always wanted to know. Where did that bug come from? I didn't know if you procured it or it was like a car you guys had for years and said cut it in half and stick it up on the roof.
It's hip.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It stands out obviously, but the only thing cooler than that thing on the roof is the stuff inside, and that's and the place is called Hippie Chicks. And ladies, it's your Shangri-La. You're going to find everything you need, but guys, it's not just for ladies. You help with the tuxes and things. There are things that you do for the fellas there too. So
there are, yes. We sell or rent tuxedos. Been doing that for about 17 years.
Okay. Wow.
And then, if the guys need a quick present, a gift, come on in. We'll help them spend their money.
And you do the
wrap.
And if I remember right, you like if you want to buy a tux, you do kind of like the rent to own style stuff, right? Where if you can rent it and then own it over time.
No, not so much that. But usually they'll rent it, fall in love with it, and
then buy it.
Yeah, a couple weeks later, decide they want to buy it.
Okay. And tuxes aren't like tuxes. Like I mean, I guess you can go like old school tux with
you got your penguins, but there's so many different
but,
designs and styles.
But
now.
to be honest, some of them are more suit-like now.
Well, they've really changed over the years, especially the last, I would say, 3 to 5 years. I mean, the young gentlemen are wearing them very snug fitting.
Gotcha. They want a tighter
very,
fit.
Yeah, very, like ultra slim fit.
Well, that's kind of how their casual clothes are too right now.
Yes, their jeans and everything are very
fat people
snug.
like me buying jeans is a little trickier nowadays thanks to these skinny jeans.
It's hard too because the generation that I remember was everything was super baggy.
Gotcha.
Yes. And now it's all tight.
Right.
They want it snug.
But things like the cummerbund and all that, is that still in play or is that kind of out of fashion?
I mean,
now?
I can rent them, but I don't think I have probably in over 15 years.
Okay.
Nobody's asked for a
I
cummerbund.
feel like that's more wedding than prom.
Yeah,
But maybe
or
I'm wrong.
symphony or
Something
like
more
that. Yeah.
stuffy.
Yes. Yes.
Do you find yourself renting more formal attire tuxes or more like the wild style, colorful, more like jazzy tuxes?
Well, like blues, the navy blues, the number one seller, or for renting, or the charcoal grays.
Okay.
I mean, there is different colors now.
Do you guys do any wild like lime greens or anything like that?
No, you can get a lime
zebra prints.
No, you can get a lime green vest and tie.
Okay.
Or you can get a zebra tie.
That's kind of where they put the flair now, is
the accessories,
the accent, the tie, if you wear a vest
color,
or something,
Yep, you bring the color in.
Or your socks or something like that.
Yes. Yes, and we do sell colorful socks.
Good.
To go with the suits and tuxes because that's really important to the young guys.
Absolutely. Well, that's
they want if they wear red suspenders, they want red socks.
Attention to detail. That's exactly what it is. And guys. And this is where you can help because I'm sure the guys are the least educated
right here
customers
totally
that visit you, and you can help them to navigate through all that process. When you're like, you want a cummerbund? You're like, what's that? She can tell you what that
right.
is.
I still don't know. Other than an Australian actor, I still have no idea what a cummerbund is.
That's cummerbag.
I know what it is, but I don't know what is it for. Like what purpose does a cummerbund
serve?
So
the shirt probably stays tucked into the pants. Kind of like a belt, but covered.
It's like a midsection dickie.
There you go.
Yes.
Like a dickie up here, but we're down here.
Okay.
A belly dickie.
Sean, I doubt anybody knows what a dickie is.
Okay, fair enough.
I do, weirdly enough.
These young people.
I know what a dickie is, but I don't know what a cummerbund is. Go figure that out.
Okay. It's the same.
Good deal. But of course, prom season's going on right now,
It
so
is.
I imagine a lot of people. What's what kind of turnarounds is that kind of like? How procrastinating can someone do on getting a tux before prom? Before you tell them you're in trouble?
I do not cut off until the day before prom.
Okay.
I will do everything possible to get them a tuxedo.
Okay. Now, please don't put her to the test.
Right.
Well, yes, please don't. And the price definitely will have to go up.
Sure.
But I try to do my best. And by then, too, they're out of so many that you're not going to get your choice.
Right.
It's just going to be a basic,
It's slim pickings.
Yeah.
Early birds get the worms.
Yeah,
Who knows that?
definitely.
And ladies, don't forget dresses,
Yes.
accessories, everything to go. Whether you're looking for casual or something formal, you'll find what you need there to hit
Yes,
the chicks
we have
too.
lots of gorgeous prom dresses, a lot of formals, and lots of jewelry.
And a lot of unique accessories. That's the thing.
I try, yes.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's you go in there and you're like, and you find things you would never see like at other stores or
Yes,
stuff,
hopefully.
a handbag or a, whatever, something
Yes.
to accessorize an outfit or a scarf or something. That's what I love about your store is it's, the most unique boutique. That's,
Yes.
you've been saying that for years.
It's
but
almost curated.
It really is.
Right.
So if you're looking
Yeah.
for something like it's almost a place like I know what I kind of want, but I don't know exactly what I want. And you go in there and like, that's what it was I wanted.
There you go.
See
yes,
what I mean?
You have to see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And Hippie Chicks is one of those places. So, so women, you're going to love it because it's a new experience every time you go in there. You also do a lot with your customers, like, you know, for your regulars, you know, your VIP. I mean, you've got like rewards. You do a lot of stuff to kind of, you know, not only invite your customers to come back, but to show your appreciation for them to coming in and utilizing and buying the things in your store too. So you really do that balance of trying to have a relationship with your customers.
Yes, I definitely try to let all my customers know how much I appreciate them. I wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
I get teary. It's been a couple trying
Well, it's your
years.
passion. It's your passion.
Well, yes, and I just love all my people. I mean, they make my day.
Sure. So I'm curious, what made you get, like, were you always one that wanted to start a boutique or a beauty shop?
No, in fact, it was a flower shop when I started there.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did it transition from flowers to what it is today?
The owner of the flower shop started that room, started Hippie Chicks.
Oh, okay.
And put me in there to run it.
And you just kind of embraced it and
I fell in love with it.
And ended up owning, and here you are, and Hippie Chicks is what it is today.
It's a really cool idea, and it's a place where, like, fellas, if you have let's say a quirky girl, if you go into Hippie Chicks, you have no idea what to get her for like a birthday, anniversary, something. Walk in and be like, Terry, help me. I don't know what I'm doing. And she'll open you up to so many cool, like so many kitsch items. There's a ton of like licensed NFL merchandise that she sells. Just a ton of really cool, unique items that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Yeah, you kind of no matter, and if you're shopping like as gifts or whatever, it's regardless, you know, who's on your list. There's something there that they're going to dig.
Yes,
yeah, they're going to like.
I mean, like we even have, you know, the Tyler candles that are from Tyler, Texas, in manly scents. So if you want to get your man a candle.
Candles are not a woman thing anymore. I think more and more guys are into candles than women are. I think. I think I know more good. Like I hear more guys talk about candle scents than I hear women talk about candle scents right now.
You're gonna have to come check them out because we've got some really good manly scents or floral
bacon.
Bacon. There probably is
just exhaust.
Diesel engine.
Food.
Right, anything. Yeah. Although, in all fairness, I'm not a fan of food candles. Like
they
mostly
make you hungry.
Like
probably.
with baked goods, particularly. Like when they do the cakes or the something
warm
about
sugar cookie.
They don't appeal to me. Is more I like the fruit flavors. They're more. Or fruit scents, I should say. They're more appealing to me.
Yes.
But yeah.
A few years ago, there was in Walmart they were selling Wolfgang Puck made this like line of candles that smelled like his entrees.
Oh really?
So it was like chicken cordon bleu
That's just
candle.
wrong.
But it's a great idea. You think about it, you light a chicken cordon bleu candle and then you have like KFC.
Unless you got an eating problem.
And you're kind of making yourself feel like you're eating fancier than you are.
Or you're constantly eating because you're smelling
you smell
cordon bleu
yummy
and you're
candle.
gained 400
I'm just
pounds.
saying I like to lie to myself, okay? That's
Candle
how I
gave
choose
me
to live my life.
diabetes.
You're a great cook.
That candle gave me the diabetes.
Lie to myself and you know, by association, those around me.
Yeah.
To my children, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, let's lie to everybody.
I'm kind of curious. What's kind of the more popular items? Like what are the go-tos that most people seem to come? Is it clothing or is it accessories?
Everything. Clothing.
I didn't know there were
jewelry,
certain items that
candles.
were like your most popular that you can't keep on the shelves half the time.
Candles fly out the door. I mean, sorry, not candles. Clothes fly out the door the quickest.
Okay.
I mean, we get clothes in every day, and they are selling out within an hour or two.
Gotcha.
You know, like you get a dozen T-shirts, and they're gone.
Wow, that's great. It's great for you. I mean,
it is great. I cannot complain at all.
How's been COVID dealing?
COVID was a little tough, but you know.
I mean, you're not dealing with food, so imagine that probably. I mean, you got to deal with customers coming in and out and stuff, but at least you didn't have to worry about like your inventory going bad. You know what I mean? And that, you know, so that maybe that's a saving grace a little bit. At least I know clothing goes in and out of fashion, but still,
one of the coolest pandemic pivots that I've seen was what Terry did, is that she put a lot of focus into her Facebook page, into her Facebook fan page.
Yes.
And she boosts that page like crazy. And that is a fantastic place to see kind of a good like overview of what the store has to offer.
Gotcha.
And you're updating all the time, which I love that.
And
that's
and
a
we
great
deliver.
pandemic pivot.
And I mean, even during COVID, when I was shut down for 2 months, we were delivering every day.
Nice.
I mean, people were shopping. Customers were buying gift certificates and not even wanting them.
That's awesome.
I mean,
just
yes,
supporting
they
you.
kept me going.
Well, to be honest, that speaks volumes of your business. When you've got that many people coming out to support you, even though they don't need to or need anything from you, but say, you know what, I want to help you because, that means your customers are believers in your business and supporters of your business. And there's probably not a commercial or an endorsement on the planet that's stronger than when people that come in your store and say, I can't believe the deals or the things I found here, and they go tell their friends. That, that's because that people trust the people they love or friends with, and when they're speaking well of your stuff, that's the real testament of, like, we could sit here and talk about how great your stuff is all day, but all we really need to do is just let the people that go in there in it every day and just, I bought a certificate during COVID because I don't need pants, but I need to support this business because I want to make sure it's here when COVID's over, and I do need pants.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And let's face it, people can get pants. You know what I mean? In a world, all right, I'll figure out and get pants, but they're like, no, I want to get it from you.
It's a curated experience.
Because of the whole customer experience, the quality of the material, the products, and knowing that if and I'm sure you do this with your customers all the time, where you get an article of clothing and they're like, hey, I love that. Can you get it in a different color or a different style slightly? And I'm sure all the time you're like, hey, let me talk to my people and see what we can
let
get.
me try.
I mean, so that's the kind of stuff you don't get in big box stores or your major chain boutiques and things like that. It's all about bottom lines and numbers. And for you, it's I these are people I see every day. They come in, come out. I go to church with them. I go to the stores with them. I do. I want to do right by them, and people understand that. And I think that's, at the end of the day, that's probably why your business is successful.
I think so too.
Even if you were just selling, I don't know, pet rocks or something instead of what you sell, that customer service really dictates why people come back.
Yeah. It becomes a part of Roswell too. That facade, the bug. Seeing that in the Main Street experience. So keeping that alive, and there's a lot to shopping local, spending local.
That is kind of part of the fabric of that. Like, you're just used to seeing that bug sitting on the roof there, and you're kind of like, it would feel weird to not see that there anymore.
I know. We took it down once to repaint it, and everybody
lost their mind.
Everybody went crazy.
You're going out of business?
They all thought I was closing, and I'm like, no, we
I guess
had to
you
get
can
a new
never
roof.
move either.
Plus, you have no idea how hard it is to get a tow truck up there.
Well, Do Right Roofing, they took care of it, and my daughter repainted it for me when they took it down.
You only need half a tow truck.
That's right. That's the other thing. You got to split the tow truck in half. It's a whole process.
Well, I guess you can never move now. If you have to expand services, need a bigger facility, you're gonna. Or we'll advertise it well. They're not closing. They just
moving.
But that's not happening anytime soon.
No.
So
now, one thing, getting back to the whole prom season, because it's definitely important. Like we said, early birds get the worm. You got something special going on over there right now for the early birds.
Okay.
Yes,
right?
Definitely. If you get in there and rent your tuxedo or buy a formal dress before April 1st, April Fool's Day, you will get registered to win a $100 gift certificate to Peppers.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
So dinner's covered at the prom.
There you go.
Boom, boom.
Unless you got a
and it just beats the rush
date.
and helps everybody's life a little bit easier.
Get it while the selection's hot.
Yes. I mean, prom has changed over the last few years. I am hoping this year is going to really be back to normal.
This one's going to be a banger, man.
Sure.
Everybody's been like, can we come out now?
Have they been doing more virtual stuff the last couple of years? Or
let's see, year before last, everything was done.
Just canceled.
Yeah,
shut
canceled. Down. And then last year, we still had, like Artesia did theirs outside.
Okay.
And Gateway did theirs. Ruidoso's got shut down like 3 days before. I mean, it's just this year. I hope it's all back to normal.
Well, I think we're good. I don't think. I think the lay of the world we live in right now. I think it's scheduled and it's going to happen.
I hope so.
Can I blow y'all's minds right now?
Well, knock on wood.
I just found out this stat like an hour ago. This week is officially 2 years into the pandemic. This week was 2 years.
On
really?
Facebook
Yep,
and all that.
March 9th, or the week of March 10th, 2020.
I saw all the memes about 2 years ago this week we spent we were going to shut down 2 weeks to
It was
flatten
like
the curves.
It was like we were literally Googling what is a pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
It was like, oh.
You heard things like flatten the curve, and you're like, what does that mean? So, yeah.
2 weeks to slow the spread, people.
Yep.
Or make it happen.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing is smart people pivot, and Terry has done an amazing job of kind of pivoting during that time to kind of focus on the Facebook, that side of things, and also doing deliveries and stuff like that too. That's awesome.
Definitely, we do free delivery in town.
Nice.
And we will ship anywhere.
Awesome.
So just
Ship
let
your
us know.
pants.
Do you get a lot of like you mentioned, Artesia Prom? Do you get a lot of our outlying cities and stuff that you have?
Yes,
people
definitely.
come in looking for prom dresses or wedding or quinceañera, whatever events they've got going on.
In fact, right now, I think Artesia is in the lead with renting tuxedos so
Really?
far. For this year.
Any
And their
orange
prom-
dresses or orange accent
No.
pieces? It is Artesia. They love their orange
Yes,
down there.
they do. Yes, they do. But no, nobody has asked for orange this year.
Okay.
But their prom, Goddard's prom, and Gateway's prom is all on the same day, April 23rd.
Oh, wow.
So it's going to be busy. So Goddard and Gateway need to hurry up and catch up.
I hope nobody wants to go out to eat. Like if your anniversary falls on April 23rd,
don't eat out on that day.
Might get some reservations for those that are eating out, or hopefully you win the $100 gift certificate at Peppers, and now you at least got, unless you got a hungry date, mostly paid for there.
I think 100 should cover it.
Oh yeah, no.
Since there won't be alcohol involved.
No, there better not be.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about that earlier. I was like, well, we were doing the whole whatever you like thing. It's like, well, I can't.
Of course.
No Patron on ice, but
I know
some iced tea.
we're saying early birds, but who knows? Maybe a husband and wife are like, we're going to do our own little prom while the kids are at prom.
Nice.
And they're going to get dressed up and maybe go out to dinner at Peppers. So maybe they can have adult beverages with their dinner. But.
Get fancy.
Yes.
But yeah, if you're a high school kid, no. Stick to soda and tea, kids. Water.
That would be the ultimate just like screw you to the kids. Like if you come in rent a tux as like a 37-year-old man, you win the $100 and you just stroll in on prom night. Hey kids, how's it going? Steak a plum right here. Give me 2.
Yeah, you might get a dirty look or two.
I'm just saying that's the move.
But and of course I say this, even if you're not looking for prom dresses or tuxes or anything like that, there's a ton of other stuff there. You'll find it. I guarantee, I don't care if you're a guy or a woman, I guarantee you just walk in there, you're going to walk out and be like, yeah, that's something I want. You know, there's just something there that you're like, hey, whether it's a keepsake or collectible or something functional like clothing or something like that, it's there, and that's. It is what it is. The most unique boutique. It's just a fun place to go do a little shopping. It's and it crosses genres too. Like if you're young and want hipper, younger clothing, it's there. But if you're a little older, want something a little more, I don't know if conservative.
I was
going to
say
say,
if you're older,
flashy.
Yeah, any
like
age.
Yeah,
if you're older and still trying to look hip and young, like me.
Like me.
But I mean, it's not. It's not just a store for 20-somethings.
No, it's
store
all
for,
ages.
Yeah,
Yes, definitely.
It really is. So whether you're more of a classics designs and things, there's going to be things for you. Or if you're wanting the latest fashion trends and things like that, you're on top of that too. So,
yes.
Very good.
Something for everybody.
What else do we want to mention? I'm sure there's some other stuff that we want to tell people that any other. Like I know you do like your rewards programs and your VIP stuff too. I see all that stuff on Facebook.
I do have my prom wall.
Okay.
I mean, most young people know about it. I have one wall dedicated to prom pictures.
Okay.
So when they rent their tuxedo, I snap a picture of them and print it out, and it goes up on the wall. Every year I change the wall out.
Oh, I didn't know if you kept them up there for years.
Some, I mean, I leave my favorites.
You should have them sign it.
I know.
Yeah, keep like a silver Sharpie on hand and just have them sign it.
I'd be very curious, like if you looked at like some old ones, you look back like, look, they're married now,
right?
Or they're, I would love to see like.
Well, and I will keep like their junior, prom picture and their senior prom picture and put them side by side. So you can see how everybody changes.
I love that.
But of course, I haven't changed it in 2 years now. I haven't changed.
Well,
the
it hasn't
wall.
been a lot of promming to do.
So I'm ready this year to change that wall.
Good deal. So get in there and load up the thing and and let Terry take care. Let the couple look smashing and matching outfits or matching color schemes.
That would be kind of cool because you said you've been renting for 17 years.
Yes,
so
I've been doing
there's
tuxes for
been
that
enough
long.
time that you've rented tuxes that people who rented from you we'll just say had a very successful prom night, and their child is now a senior in high school.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
It'll make me feel a little older.
I'm saying
No,
that
I'm
you could now,
kidding.
you could tux,
I'm very privileged to be older.
You're at a point where you could tux 2 generations of people.
Oh,
If
yeah,
you- if-
maybe even
if your
3.
prom night was as successful as you hope it is.
That's the first time I've used tuxed in a verb like that.
Yeah.
That was kind of
Tuxed. And if you rent the right tux, then maybe you'll get tuxed again. Or you get retuxed.
I have one young man that, he rented 5 times because the 5th year he walked in, I said, "You graduated last year."
Yeah, why?
And he goes, "My girlfriend this year is
Oh,
senior."
she's a
and
senior.
Yes, and he's a Dexter young man. And then about a year or 2 ago, he got married, and so I have all 5 of his pictures and now his wedding.
Oh, nice.
Up there, yeah.
Good deal.
So it's just amazing to see how they grow and change.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because imagine you see that all the time.
Yes,
where
every
you
year.
kind of go with your families, or maybe you were putting a tux for a wedding or something for a parent, and now their kids coming in for prom or something like that.
Yeah.
Seeing that kind of stuff, that's kind of cool. Like my wife's a teacher, and she's been doing it almost 25 years now, and she has that moment all the time
Yes,
where
it's
kids
when they
that
grow,
kids that like especially some of those first, second year students that she taught. They're now adults and have their own families and things, and it's kind of neat to watch.
Yes.
It does make you feel old for a hot minute,
Oh,
but
sure.
but
Just
it
for a
is
minute,
cool to
yeah.
it is cool to see. Hey, and then you look back, and I'm sure you look at this way. It's like, hey, I played a little role in their future together.
Yes.
It's like I had a slight hand in some of that, and so that's kind of probably pretty cool feeling.
I made them look good while they looked into each other's eyes.
Hey, they would have never found each other attractive if they were in some
That's
dopey
right.
outfit. They made the marriage may never happen.
They're all dressed up.
If anybody has questions or anything, what's the?
Can I?
Oh,
Yes.
I've been doing our
what's the
commercials for so long.
oh yeah.
I
Are you
wanna
going to
just-
answer the?
802 South Main right here in Roswell. Just look for the lime green VW bug or call 627-3868. Boom.
Thank you, Sean.
What's up?
What's your store hours too? By the way?
10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, and
Okay.
10 to 5 on Saturday.
Very good.
We close on Sunday.
Very good. Take a day off every now and then.
Yes.
Right.
The way the good Lord intended.
Find her on Facebook. She's got a fantastic Facebook page. Hippie Chicks. Is it just
It's the
Hippie Chicks?
VIP
Yeah,
group.
Hippie Chicks VIP.
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
And if you don't find her, she will find you.
Yes.
And all you got to do is just Google Hippie Chicks or Facebook on Facebook and search Hippie Chicks. It'll pop right up. Then you can
It
like
will.
and follow it. And
HIPPIE.
yeah, no Y, I-E, in case you were wondering how to, it's on the sign. Right above right below the bug there. And of course, come by. If you've never been in, make today your
Yes,
first visit. Come
please
pop
do.
in for a
Yes.
visit. Take a look around. Guys, gals, doesn't matter. Come on in. It's
Pan. Neutral, fluid, however you identify.
Yeah, whatever that
And
is.
we get that a lot.
Whoever.
I forgot there's a lot more pronouns
That's right.
nowadays. But
You gotta be-
whatever
you
your
gotta be
pronoun
inclusive.
is, going in there. They're
She
going to find
or
stuff
her.
in there. But yeah, and who knows? Maybe Terry's going to put you in a prom dress, and then 20 years from now, you're going to come back and meet, like, here's my wife, the prom, or here this. And she's like, no, I'm going to be retired in 20 years. I'm just being, Well, maybe the next generation of who's going to run Hippie
Yes.
Chicks when you're done. I don't know if you got family that wants to take over or what, but whatever that is, I would love to see that kind of stuff. And that's
Hopefully, Hippie Chicks will be there forever.
very good. Is there anything we missed? Anything you wanted to get out here that we just got sidetracked on or got to talking about something dumb?
I think you covered it all. I love my customers. Come in, let my girls, sell you something, or don't even buy anything. Just come in and visit.
Hippie Chicks is the very reason why we tell people to shop local and do that things, because it's a community business that supports the community and is a part of the community and serves the community.
Exactly.
And that's at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just a place for families to come in, get some great clothing or accessories, and like you said, it's a family thing. You talk with these kids, you
Yes.
see them, they're in essence part of your extended family a little bit here, and that's what Hippie Chicks is. So if you're looking for a great experience and customer service, like if you don't see what you want there or see what you're looking for, talk to her and be like, hey, let me see what my options. Let me talk to my suppliers, retailers, and see what we can do for
definitely.
you. Yeah, there's where there's a will, there's a way sometimes.
Yes.
So very good. Well, thank you. I'm sure you got
thank you.
Quite a few things to handle when you get back to the shop there and take care of. And hopefully there's a few customers waiting too, saying, I heard you on the radio.
Hopefully. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Okay, Mike.
Don't work too hard.
I already did.
Oh, sorry.
You didn't tell me.
This was the hard part.
Oh, okay. Well, give him a hard time.
Thank you, Sean.
He needs it.
No, I can never give Sean a hard time.
He's starting to get a big head. Knock him down a peg.
It's true. I think it might be a medical condition.
There's a joke I used to tell Sean. I'd be driving down the road and I would hear his commercial, my commercial, and I would just want to go rent a tuxedo.
There you go.
He's so convincing and tells it all.
Sean is very good at what he does. He is a
stop.
He's amazing. Amazing.
He looks all right in a tux too.
It's true. If I ever, actually follow through and rent the tux.
Yeah, even though I didn't see him in that tux that time.
I think we should put him back in.
You know what?
I
will
think
say
so
this.
Too.
Thanks to Facebook memories, I get reminded of that failure every single year.
Well, I'm
You're
thinking.
going to have to share it and tag me.
Is the tux still around or is it long gone?
Well, I'm sure it went back to the shop from whence it came.
No,
but I will
it
say
went
this.
I would say let's put him in it.
The tux that I was renting was a more baggy style, kind of flowy, because
Yes.
I was a big guy, I kind of want something a little flowier. So it was veered away from the
So
kind
this
of
is pre-weight
super slim.
loss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you'll be
And
swimming in that
It was more of
tux
a traditional fit.
Mm-hmm.
I remember.
Okay. Yeah, you'd be swimming in that tux now.
A lot of red. I like I was doing like the red accent. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to
Probably
find the
Ferrari
picture.
red, yeah.
Yep.
Just like his car.
That's right.
It's probably red. It's not Ferrari, but it's
It's
probably
not.
red.
It's got the color.
It's subcompact red.
That's pretty good. Well, thank you, Terry. We appreciate
Thank
it.
you
We'll
so
see you
much.
next time.
Thank you.
And you did great. I know you don't like doing this kind of thing, but you did awesome.
Oh,
So
yeah.
good for
Glad.
you.
Thank you.
Two Roswell men charged in separate but unrelated homicides. Each recently pleaded no contest and were sentenced in district court under plea deals with the DA's office. Each of the cases was investigated by Roswell police, and each suspect was arrested less than 24 hours after he fatally shot the victims. In the first case, 39-year-old Jimmy Joseph Aragon was sentenced in January to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder for the death of his girlfriend, Jasmine Martinez, in December of 2019. Aragon also received 5.5 years in prison for being a felon in possession of a firearm. In the second case, 34-year-old Jack Salcido was sentenced in February to a prison term of 2.5 years for involuntary manslaughter for the death of his sister, Crystal Smith, whom he accidentally shot in February of last year while drinking and playing with a gun. You're up to date. That's local headlines. I'm Jared Zarello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks pretty good today and very warm, and then we'll get a big cool down on Thursday with a cold front moving in. Low 80s for the afternoon high today and lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear and breezy. We'll drop to about 45. Then tomorrow, partly sunny. Our afternoon high stays in the upper 50s following that cold front, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Sarah Bloom Raskin under fire from Senate Republicans for her views on climate change and financial regulation has withdrawn her name from consideration for a key post on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. Raskin's nomination was stuck in the Senate Banking Committee after Republican senators boycotted a vote. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia said Monday that he also opposed her, dooming her chances of winning confirmation in the full Senate. President Biden had nominated Raskin to serve as the Fed's vice chair for supervision, a top financial regulatory post. New U.S. sanctions Tuesday targeted more individuals in Russian President Vladimir Putin's power structure, including senior Russian military officials and the leader of Kremlin ally Belarus. A judge and an investigator in Russia's prosecution of two outspoken critics of alleged corruption and rights abuses are also a focus of the sanctions. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Get smoking hot deals during the sizzling savings event at Roswell Nissan. Like a 2015 Ford F-150 for just $307 a month, or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $149 a month. And join Roswell Nissan March 26th from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kiddos, and your chance to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 26th at 1, must be present to win. Get a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a portable grill and a chance at the cash grab just for stopping by. On now at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Attention high school students, would you like more information on the most affordable four-year university in New Mexico? Then RSVP today to our Eastern New Mexico University Open House Preview Day, Saturday, March 26th. At ENMU Open House, you will have a chance to win great prizes, such as an iPad and a $500 scholarship. Get more information about admissions and scholarships. Meet with ENMU faculty. Find out more about potential majors and get a specialized campus tour from ENMU students. Sign up today at enmu.edu/open house. Explore, experience, excel. Eastern New Mexico University.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. Closing in on 8:56. Stay tuned next hour. We're going to replay our interview we had on Monday morning with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. He always comes in and talks sage legal advice. I don't say legal, sage legal advice with us, and he does that with us again on this interview here. So tune in for that next hour. I did watch. I get a chance. I sat down and watched Ukrainian President Zelensky's address to Congress. During that interview play, I went online and went back and watched it, and a pretty powerful message. One thing that and basically he's pleading to Congress for us to two things really. He's wanting us to make a no-fly zone over Ukraine to stop the bombing, or provide missile defense weapons and things like that for us to help them shoot down the Russian planes and things like that. That's basically what he's asking for, and it's a powerful message. And you can tell that he is a man who's used to entertaining people, and what I mean by that is they not only did he have his plea to the Congress, but in the middle of the speech, he presented them a well-produced video showing some of the carnage that's going on there in Ukraine right now, and why I say you can tell he's a man that he was an actor before becoming president of Ukraine. And if I remember right, he was on a TV show playing the president of Ukraine, and then life imitates art. He becomes president, and so, but you can tell that experience is in there because it was well done and stuff. But he knows exactly, like that was a message that was strong and rang true. And I would imagine there's some people in Congress that probably are thinking, maybe we should get involved in this, seeing what's, and it's a sticky wicket. And of course, he's begging, President Biden to step up and be the leader of the free world, basically. And it's a powerful message, and it's a sticky wicket, my brain, because I'm sitting there looking and listening, and yeah, you you want to defend freedom wherever it is and things like that. But at the same time, you don't want to blow up the whole world with World War III doing it either. and so and say what you want about Putin, he's scary. You love him, hate him. I'm assuming most hate him, but say what you want. He's unpredictable. The nuke threat. He threatened it. He did it. He went there, and you cannot not take that seriously. You just can't do it. It's got to be. So I mean, it's really. I don't know. I'm very conflicted. It's kind of, part of me is, this is what we as Americans do, and when the world is asking for our help for freedom, and that's, Now, granted, I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. I know there's politics and all this, but at the end of the day, he's addressing his people, the needs of his people. It's a man who's, pleading to us to help his people because that's what his people elected him to do, to represent them, to lead them. And he's doing what he can, and you feel for that. You sit there and you understand. It's like this man, he's not worried about World War III and politics. He's just trying to keep his people alive. And he knows without our help, it's a tall order for him to do. So, I mean, you gotta feel for that, So, anyway, it's 9:00. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Thanking the U.S. for its support as his country battles the invading Russian armies and recalling some of America's darkest days, Pearl Harbor and 9/11, Ukrainian President Zelensky addresses Congress.
In the darkest time for our country, for the whole Europe, I call on you to do more.
In a virtual speech to Congress this morning, Zelensky appealed for more planes and anti-aircraft weapons and more.
To create a no-fly zone over Ukraine to save people. Is this too much to ask? Humanitarian no-fly zone.
But saying yes to that request would be a serious mistake, according to Republican Senator Ted Cruz.
The no-fly zone means American pilots and American fighter jets in Ukrainian airspace trying to stop Russians from entering that space, and that invites direct combat between American airmen and Russian airmen, which invites escalation.
Cruz on the Salem Radio Network. On the war front, it appears Ukrainian forces have hit a strategic target recently taken over by Russia.
Satellite photos from Planet Labs PBC, analyzed by the Associated Press, show a suspected Ukrainian strike on the Russian-held Kherson International Airport and airbase. The images at the dual-use airfield show thick black smoke rising overhead from the blazes, with at least 3 helicopters appearing to be on fire, as well as several vehicles. The Ukrainian president's office says fighting had continued at Kherson Airport on Tuesday, with powerful blasts rocking the area during the course of the day.
Correspondent Charles De La Desma. Americans slowed their spending last month. Retail sales increasing just 0.3%. Stocks are sharply higher on Wall Street this hour. The Dow's up 403 points. The Nasdaq ahead 363. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters. Or someone your realtor or friend recommends. And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired to tell you about our mortgage team's Direct Lender Advantage. And then you feel like you missed out, because you probably did miss out. And that is Direct Lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Live rec NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. I licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
South Korea's military says a North Korean missile fired from its capital region exploded in midair, an apparent failed launch. Today's launch was detected amid speculation that the North could soon launch its longest-range missile, its most significant provocation since 2017. Details of the missile explosion are not available. It was the 10th such weapons test this year and shows the North is determined to press ahead on its push to modernize its weapons arsenal and pressure its rivals. China's leaders trying to calm jittery investors by promising more help for its struggling real estate industry, internet companies, and entrepreneurs who want to raise money abroad. That comes after regulatory crackdowns fueled uncertainty and caused Chinese stock prices to plunge. Officials at a cabinet meeting say regulators should issue market-friendly policies to invigorate the economy. Breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. One small misstep leads to a big problem on the waters.
A salvage team and naval architects are working together to figure out how to free a cargo ship stuck in the Chesapeake Bay. The U.S. Coast Guard says the Ever Forward ran aground Sunday night while traveling from the port of Baltimore to Norfolk, Virginia. The ship is not impeding any navigation, unlike its sister ship, the Ever Given, which blocked the Suez Canal for days after getting stuck last year. The Ever Forward is operated by Taiwan-based Evergreen Marine Corporation. William Doyle is executive director of the Maryland Port Administration. He says technical experts boarded the ship Monday to evaluate its condition. No damage or injuries have been reported. Keith Peters reporting.
Sarah Bloom Raskin withdrawing her nomination to the Fed's Board of Governors after a key Democrat, Senator Joe Manchin, joined with all Senate Republicans to oppose her confirmation. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. It on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Good mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was kind of I kind of said everything I need to say at the last hour. But yeah, after watching Zelensky's address to Congress, you can, the actor in him, you could tell, just not even because we're talking through translators, so you're not really hearing his voice, but the video he puts together in the middle of it to show basically the carnage that's going on in Ukraine.
Right.
That was powerful, and it was a very interesting message. And he's just, and like I said earlier, what he's pleading to Congress for is to really wants two things. One big one first is the no-fly zone over Ukraine, so Russia can stop blowing up their cities. And then he basically said, well, if you can't do that, well, give us the weaponry to shoot them down ourselves.
Right.
And, I doubt we'll do either because of the implications of what that could be globally. But part of me also says I get it. I mean, what we as a nation represent is against exactly what he's wanting or what he's fighting for.
Right.
And it's interesting. Yeah, there's some of the video. Yeah, that's some of the video they were showing on Fox News there just a minute ago.
Now, I'd heard a story or report, I guess, over the weekend that several countries were recommissioning Soviet-era
Poland had offered
planes.
up some MiGs and all that, and U.S. basically said, no thank you.
Right.
Do that. Yeah.
Right.
Because, again, they're very NATO, it doesn't want to get involved until he attacks a NATO country.
Sure.
And anything outside of that is the tinderbox that creates World War III. So that's why everyone's very nervous about giving a plane,
even though
giving a any kind of support other than say we're with you. Good luck to you.
Right.
And all that.
Because even though Putin did what is doing what he's doing, we make a move, that's going to be considered the first move.
Yeah, and the way Putin's seeing it, and he basically said as much. That's why he moved his subs, and talks about nukes are on the table here if you want to get involved, and and you cannot just dismiss that.
Right.
You have to take that seriously, and so it's a sticky wicket, man. It really is, and what's the right answer? I don't know. I really don't know, and I think that's what we're trying to figure out right now.
Personally, I think we should just have like a nation-to-nation sack race. Putin, Zelensky.
Well, Elon Musk there wanted to, fight him or something. He's like, I'll challenge you. Here's Elon with his flamethrower, and of course the Putin on the shirtless on the horse.
Right?
On
a steed.
Is he a centaur? What is he?
Zelensky comes cartwheeling in, doing something funny.
With a
double backflip.
Hello, my baby. Hello.
Got the Michigan J Frog.
But it's a pretty. It was. I went online and checked it out afterwards. It was pretty insane to watch. So
it is.
Here's what we have on tap for this hour. Here in just a few, we'll get you up to date with the news and weather and all that. Or not news, but weather and all that. And then later on here, we'll have our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. And he joined us on Monday, and we chit-chatted, about legal advice things, stuff as we do.
Yeah.
And so we'll play that for you here in just a few. So
very good.
I'm getting farther and farther into the show now, and I'm liking it.
Okay.
More and more. And I told you about it. It's on Amazon Prime, and I think the 4th season just came out. That's why I'm seeing a lot of advertisements for it.
I'll say this. You do not strike me as the target demographic for
and that's
this
what
show.
I'm saying. This is not normally something I'm into. It's a little sing-songy and a little hoity-toity.
Right.
But it's also...
marvelous, would you say?
Well, it's a little dirty, which makes it kind of good. Right. It brings all of that into. It's entertaining. There's.
We're talking, by the way, about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
There's enough. Yeah, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a show on Amazon Prime.
Right.
And the whole premise of the story takes place in the 50s, and it follows a woman who's a Jewish lady who lives in New York City. Pretty affluent family. Father's a professor. Mother's a housewife, and so she's married to another a man, a Jewish man. Their family's pretty good. They own a clothing company kind of deal, and so so they get married, and then she's the ultimate housewife. She's very, very put together, very serve this with that, and very what I mean, just very and then the husband has an aspiration of being a stand-up comic. So he works at the business by day, but at night he's going to this dive bar there locally and doing stand-up. But he's not very good. He's just regurgitating hack stuff and all this stuff. But so he got called out on it and all this, and anyway he left his wife. He leaves his wife, and then she's kind of left on her own here, and she actually gets drunk. And just rolls into this place and goes on stage and does this set that she gets arrested for because she whips out things and talks.
Well, all right then.
But she's good.
Right.
Like the crowd's going crazy, and then the bar owner or bar runner, she's like sees and wants to be the manager, and so that's basically the premise. She's now becoming a stand-up comic, but her family nobody knows except. Well, the ex finds out later. You'll learn more. I'm only in season 2, but it's kind of good. Like it's the way because it's and they work like one of her mentors in the stand up is Lenny Bruce.
Nice.
And so you're seeing like the guy who plays Lenny Bruce is good at being Lenny Bruce. It's just an entertaining for me because I like stand-up comedy and stuff, and that's why I thought you would like it.
Right.
You know, there's got the singing, and it's very set in the 50s, and that kind of you know, kind of. But at the end of the day, it's really the psyche of the brain of a stand-up comic. It really kind of is, and it's pretty good though. At least to the 2 seasons of 10 episodes, whatever I've seen of it so far. So
that premise, I just like chuckled to myself. That'd be like if my kid's mom just decided to become really, really good in radio, just all of a sudden, just to spite me.
Yeah.
That's a smooth move right there.
Yeah. Well, it turns out she's way more talented, way more because she. And here's the thing is you have to understand this is the 50s. So stand-up comedy back then was like your Bob Hopes and stuff, and it's like very PG, family, you know what I mean? Kind of, and it was vanilla. Maybe that's the term I use, vanilla.
Well, yeah.
Whereas guys like Lenny Bruce start talking about their personal lives and start getting in the nitty with it, and she does that, and that's why. And so it's almost like an evolution of the comic going from the bow tie and boy, I flew in from Ling last night. Boy, my arms are tired.
Well, that's what a lot of the 50s it was like the Catskills style humor.
To something you see more like a modern comic, you know. And Lenny Bruce, for those who don't know, think of your legendary comics. He's one of them, but like think of Richard Pryor, think of George Carlin.
Carlin is the one who always comes to my mind.
These guys looked up to him. Like he was their mentor. He's the one that kind of set the table for those comics. And so that's what it's so I kind of dig that side of it, the history of it, and I like that, you know, and then I like seeing the 50s, and I think the series goes into the 60s as it gets into more seasons here. I just kind of dig that vibe, and I dig it's a pretty good show.
I'd definitely be curious.
So I'm looking past the singing that occasionally pops into it, and it's not the cast that just belts out singing. It's just as the transition to scenes, they go to very sing-songy 50s, almost annoying style singing, very loud and very and I just
like acetate sounding,
but not my thing. Not quite 20s roaring 20s.
What popped into my head was the song from South Park. I've got something in my front pocket for you.
All I can think of when I hear that is Mr. Show. There was Mr. Show where there was the dueling song guys from the 20s, and all the songs were like 10 seconds long or whatever, and so they're both dressed up in their little barbershop quartet ones, and all the songs are in that voice like, and I went to the store and I got a pair of shoes, and then went to the next. But he could not be satisfied with that, so he came with another song. And I went to the furniture store and bought a new house. You know, that was the skit bit.
Back when everything was recorded on like wax cylinders and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of so when you did that's what I think it was Mr. Show there from that scene. But anyway, but yes, it's worth a check out. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. It's a good couple. My wife and I are both into it. Like I said, it's probably not so much for younger kids because there's adult humor and things in it. But it's compared to your Breaking Bads and all these other things, it's just fine. All right, it is 17 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Looks pretty good today and very warm, and then we'll get a big cool down on Thursday with a cold front moving in. Low 80s for the afternoon high today and lots of sunshine. Overnight it'll be clear and breezy. We'll drop to about 45. Then tomorrow, partly sunny. Our afternoon high stays in the upper 50s following that cold front, wind gusting to 40 miles an hour. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity at 24%. Winds are calm at the moment. Warm one today. Enjoy that. 85 and sunny expected today, but not so breezy today. Breezy, but not like tomorrow breezy. Southeast winds 5 to 10 today, this morning, 10 to 15 later this afternoon. Clear skies tonight with an overnight low of 44. West winds 10 to 20. And then Thursday, the winds coming in, chances of rain, cooler temps as well. Like I said, we're going to be 85 today. Tomorrow, our high expected to be 61 under mostly sunny skies. But we are looking at a 20% chance of rain showers for tomorrow afternoon, and winds will be up as well. West winds 15 to 20. early, increasing out of the north, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour tomorrow afternoon. 20% chance of rain continues in the early evening hours of Thursday. For the most part, mostly clear with an overnight low of 30. Winds will remain blustery out of the north, 15 to 25 miles per hour. Those will drop down 5 to 10 after midnight tomorrow night. Friday, mostly sunny, highs around 62. Winds calmer out of the south or northwest, 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then warming up for the weekend, sunny and 76 for your Saturday. Mostly sunny and breezy, highs near 80 on Sunday. Rain chances return to the forecast Monday and Tuesday of next week, at least right now. We'll see if that continues to stay that way. All right, it is 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play our interview with Matt Bristol from Bristol Law Office. Don't go away.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Agger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures, and that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455. Up your spotting game with the help of Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Zia Guns USA is now an authorized full-line Tacticam dealer. The same scopes, cameras, and spotting equipment that the big boys use on TV. So now you can capture your hunt like never before. Zia Guns USA in Roswell also has a new shipment of knives by Benchmade and Case. Come check out the amazing selection for yourself. Take your hunt to the next level with Zia Guns USA in Roswell. Closed on Saturdays but open on Sundays at 1907 North Main in Roswell.
The Valley Cafe is now open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Located inside the 180 Youth Building across from Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try one of their signature creations like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, the chicken cordon bleu soup, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Or swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school. Don't feel like leaving home? Order takeout from DoorDash.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Bristol Law Office, Matt Bristol back with us. Good morning, Matt.
Good morning, Mike. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Happy Monday to you.
Happy Monday. How was your weekend?
Good. Had a couple some friends over, did some stuff, and but overall wasn't overly busy. Kind of a pretty low-key weekend for me. So how about yourself?
Saturday I taught Hunter Ed. I've been teaching since 94, 95. And I teach wilderness survival. So we actually start fires in the classroom, indoors. So
okay.
Kids just love that.
I imagine. I'd be pretty cool about that, too. And, of course, if it's wilderness survival, they're probably learning to light fires with things other than matches.
Oh, yeah.
And lighters.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You learn, like, with things like steel wool and magnifying glasses and the rubbing together of sticks and things. And there's different methods to do it. And they kind of learn them all, or learn different ones. So.
Well, we do steel wool and batteries. Actually light Lay's potato chips on fire.
Nice.
Those things burn really good. Good fire starter.
Yeah.
And then I get pad of steel wool, and a mixture of 4831 rifle powder and Q-Tex fingernail polish remover. And I have a volunteer make it into like a Play-Doh, and then put that on top of the steel wool, light the steel wool, and it ignites that stuff, and it burns slowly. It's like jet flame coming out.
Okay.
And I get a wax paper cup full of water, and I'll put it on top.
Oh, okay.
And it's dead silent because the kids are waiting for that wax paper cup to burn through, and it won't.
Yeah.
Because of the water. The water absorbs the heat.
Yeah. Science.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. If you're an avid camper, a person that likes to camp and go out, go to Boy Scout headquarters and get you and purchase this. And I always see them at the Boy Scouts. I don't know. I'm sure that you can buy them at camping stores, but my whole life I've only seen them through the Boy Scouts. I always call it the Spark Kit. And in essence, it's a little kit with it makes a little spark.
Right.
And it is the most handiest tool a person that likes to camp and do things could have on them, because with that thing you could literally start a fire without matches any single time, and it's not hard to navigate. It's really designed to be something that someone that doesn't even necessarily an avid camper, everything can use it and get a fire going pretty easy, almost as easy as if you had a lighter or some match or something.
Yeah, they make them also out of magnesium.
Yes.
Magnesium bars with a striker on one side. Yeah, so I've got one of those.
Yeah, those are one of the handiest tools. That and one of the little P-51, the old military cutters from back in the day. You have those two items on you when you're camping, you could pretty much do 9/10 of everything you need to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
You're going to be all right.
Yeah, well, it's a fun class. I enjoy it with the kids.
Yeah, absolutely. But when Matt's not helping teach kids wilderness survival, he is being a lawyer and providing sage legal advice for folks and stuff. And that's what we're talking more about today, so much then. Although, if you do need tips on surviving in the woods, give Matt a call. He can help you with that, too.
Anytime. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, Mike and I usually get together about a week in advance.
Yeah.
And we talk about the show. And last week, Mike must have been slammed.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to get back with him, so we're exploring new territory together this morning. So.
Well, so in my job as an attorney, I see people of all ages and all walks of life. So it's very interesting. And so today we're going to generally kind of talk about Social Security, Medicare stuff.
Okay.
Because I see a lot of misconceptions out there. I'm not going to get too deep into like disability.
Sure.
I don't know anything about disability.
Sure. I know it's very hard to get, and they make you generally they reject you the first time, and you have to by design almost. And I know it can be a real gauntlet. And so if you're having issues, seek help. There's people out there that can really help you navigate.
Yeah, there's a couple of firms in town that do disability, and so I recommend them.
Yeah.
Not me. Okay, so is Social Security income taxable?
Well, that's something they took out of your income to begin with. I'm going to say I thought it's not, and they're wanting to try to tax it. Is that kind of what I've been hearing, or?
Well, on the state level,
okay,
some states tax Social Security at certain levels.
Okay,
and New Mexico is one of those.
Okay,
but even at the federal level, if so there's a couple of different things. So there's what's called full retirement age. And it's now it used to be 65 for everybody. Now it's kind of modified up. I'm like 66.4.
Okay.
So if you're getting Social Security before full retirement age and you're working, then depending on how much you make, your Social Security could be income taxable and penalized.
Oh, wow.
After full retirement age, there's no penalty, but it may be income taxable
depending on where you live.
Depending on how much money you make.
Okay.
So if you got like 2 pension checks plus Social Security, your Social Security may be income taxable.
Okay. So basically, if you were smart and financially planned for yourself, they're probably going to tax your Social Security.
Yep.
If you didn't, then they're going to say, all right, you're trying to, eat sardines out of cans. We're going to not worry about you. So is that in essence kind of what it is?
Well, yeah. Another related question is Medicare. Is Medicare means tested?
I don't know. I'm not a big familiar with Medicare stuff, so I'm pretty naive.
Most people, yeah. Well, welcome to the club.
Yeah.
So, Medicare is means tested because the more you make, the higher your premiums are.
Okay.
The less you make, the lower your premiums are. So it is means tested in that regard.
But either way, that one's still beneficial. So I mean,
oh yeah.
Like what I mean by that is like my in-laws, they're of that age where they've retired and things like that, and they just the last couple years got to the point where they're at the age where they're eligible to get on Medicaid and stuff like that. And for them, and my father-in-law, of course, he owned his own business for years, so he was an accountant and things, so he set himself up smart.
Good for him.
But a lot of it's done on his own. It wasn't like he worked for a company that set up all this stuff, and so. But for them, they finally got to an age where and I remember a couple years ago, they were so happy because even though yes, their income requires they're going to be paying premiums and things, but compared to other insurance or them doing some of this outright, they've actually
more affordable.
Yeah, it's much more affordable for them. So they were very happy when they. Matter of fact, I think there was a couple things they were holding off on, and then they got to that age and they're like, all right, let's get them done now. You know what I mean?
Funny,
now that we get to all that, so they could pay less out of pocket for this stuff.
Sure. I think I think it's every 2 years Medicare looks at your income tax return and then adjusts your premiums.
Mm-hmm.
So in case you're just 1 year you had a really good year,
sure,
money wise, and your premiums rise up, and then after a couple of years they'll revisit it, and if your income's back down, then they'll lower the premiums back down.
Gotcha.
So that was an interesting thing that I found out.
Okay. So and I imagine there's a lot of people in our audience, that are listening to this and they're thinking, I'm kind of at that age, and so I would imagine for them it's probably when's the right time, like, to pull the trigger on some of this stuff.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
So, we'll continue with Medicare. At age 65 is when you're eligible to apply. Now, let's say you're employed, you could be working for the state, you already have health insurance coverage, and do you really need to apply for Medicare if you're already covered? That's the question.
Okay.
What do you think?
My gut says no, but it's probably the more the merrier. So you're probably saying yes, but I don't know.
There's two reasons yes to sign up.
Okay.
One, if you don't sign up at age 65, if you delay it, then there's a permanent increase in your premium cost.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
You're penalized.
So whether you need it or not, 65 start
sign up.
You
can sign up to 2 months early, 2 months late, I think.
Okay.
Secondly is once you're eligible for Medicare, your employer's health insurance coverage so double check, consider that to be your primary coverage.
Oh, so they may dump you or decrease your benefits.
Decrease your benefits big time, yeah.
Now, do you get an option that, or they just tell you?
Well, it's probably somewhere in those 42 pages of the pamphlet.
You signed. Okay. So maybe
check with the HR department.
Check with the HR because your benefits may change drastically there. Now, in theory, if that does that, you're hoping that where one's dropping it, the other picks it up. But that may not always be the case. So make sure you're really doing your due diligence on that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Check with your employer's health insurance folks.
So say that's the case. What's the option? Is it supplemental insurance for those kind of folks, or what do you recommend for those kind of folks?
If they're employed, their employer's health insurance is probably going to act like the supplemental insurance.
Okay.
So Medicare covers some things, doesn't cover other things, like it doesn't cover hearing or dental. So you get supplemental coverage for that. And then Medicare does have some out-of-pockets. So there's more supplemental plans that you can get in addition that would cover those out-of-pockets.
Sure.
Also, there's two Medicares. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I was kind of shut up. You see this stuff on TV, but until you get that age, it's like you really don't pay attention.
You're right, yeah. Until it's in your wheelhouse or something you need, you're kind of, it's the back of the brain there.
So they have what's called original Medicare, and then they have the secondary Medicare is actually insurance through an insurance company.
Okay.
So what's the diff, right?
So is that like privatized Medicare or something?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay.
So the original Medicare is you walk into a doctor's office, they say, you take Medicare? Yeah, here's my card. Nationwide.
Okay.
You take Medicare? Yep, here's my card. You're covered. Then the other newfangled stuff is almost like a private insurance company. Is they have doctors that are in circuit and doctors that are out of circuit.
Okay.
So if you go to a doctor that's out of circuit, they're not going to cover it.
Interesting.
Yeah. So got to be careful about that stuff.
So I'm wondering.
It's kind of like an HMO thing.
Yeah. So I'm guessing. I'm kind of curious because, when doctors, and I don't know how much of that's like when they decide what insurance they take and don't take and all of that. And I'm sure reputation comes into play on some of that where they're like, well, those guys don't pay. Like, we apply, and I'm sure some of that comes into play there. I'm wondering how that works with Medicaid, though, where ones that don't are outside the network or inside in theory, the government's paying for all of that. I mean,
well, Medicaid is for indigent people.
Yes.
Medicare is for the elderly.
Well, I'm just wondering is how do they get to decide whether they take it or not? If it's a government thing, I'm kind of like
I don't know.
That's the part I'm curious about. And do privatized doctors say no? I'm not going to take that version of Medicare.
There are some doctors that don't take Medicare because Medicare says we'll pay you this much for this procedure, this much for this procedure, and that's all we're going to pay you.
Sure.
So there are some doctors that don't take Medicare. Yeah.
I'm just curious because I'm wondering if it ever got, because you think, like I look at that as service like the mail, a government service that they provide, and you can't not get mail. You know what I mean? and so I'm just kind of wondering, it's like, look, if someone walks in with that Medicaid and says, look, Medicare, I'm walking in and I'm basically my insurance is the government. I almost look at the point like I'm surprised that there's doctors that can't. No, you got to take it. By law, you have to let them walk in and I'm just surprised a little bit because it would be just and I get doctors get the choice of getting paid and all this other stuff, but at the same time when something's a government program and you're telling people you can go anywhere to do it and then you can't in theory do that, I'm wondering, I'm surprised government doesn't penalize or do something to make it where basically anybody should be able to walk in any doctor and get treated with a government program in essence. I don't know.
Yeah, I think if the Medicare is covering 95% of whatever the cost of the procedure is, a doctor's likely to go along just as a public service.
Sure. Like I guess and maybe I don't know, and this is me being naive. Like say if someone has government assistance for like food stamps or something along those nature, if it's a grocery store, do they have the right to not accept those, or do they have to say, you know what, you're in a town, one grocery store town, you're on food stamps, do they have no choice but to take them? Or
the way that works these days is it's all in a debit card.
Okay.
So many dollars are deposited into the debit card account.
Right.
So when they use that debit card, it's just like cash.
Gotcha. But I mean, do grocery stores have the right not to accept that?
It's just cash, so they would not refuse.
Okay, I didn't know if it was. I know when I hear like we accept EBT, WIC. I see that all the time.
But you can't use that for, I think, tobacco and booze.
Yeah, I know there's certain things you can and cannot buy with it, but I didn't know if a grocery store, and it is labeled as a grocery store, not a 7-Eleven or an Allsups or something, an actual grocery store. I didn't know if they had a right to refuse on that kind of thing.
It's a debit card with cash. That's how it operates these days.
Okay, I didn't know. I'm a little out of the loop on that kind of stuff. And the only reason I'm mentioning that because I kind of look at Medicare as almost that same, or Medicaid certainly, but is that same vein a little bit. It's like, hey, the government's saying we're going to help you with this. Anywhere that does that service, in theory, I would think has to accept that. So I don't know. But
well, the had a thought and lost it. Sorry.
That's right. It's Monday morning.
Should have written it down. Yeah. So that's one of the things I learned in my business. That stuff's on debit cards now.
Okay. I didn't. Yeah, I was just curious. I didn't know if that. And that's the only reason I brought it up because I kind of look in my head about what like what rights do the business owner have as far as accepting or not accepting these kind of things? You know?
Well, so this stuff does come out of your paycheck. Okay, so sometimes I have clients in dire straits, and I tell them, so you go down and to the state office, and see if you qualify for food stamps, see if you qualify for some kind of Medicaid.
Right.
You know, and these people say, well, you know, I kind of hate to do that. And I tell them, well, guess what's been coming out of your paycheck all these years?
This is why you pay these things, your taxes and your Social Security.
Part of your taxes go to Medicaid,
FICA.
food stamps, WIC, all those government programs. Some of your money, you've been paying into that all these years, so you need it. Go get it. It's your damn money.
Yeah. That's why I'm a little bit, and I'm sure a lot of other people agree with this, a little skeeved about taxing on that. You're like, look, I already paid into this once. This is kind of a double dipping kind of scenario when you tax me on the way out with it too. You know, I feel like I've already paid it as a tax to begin with. You know what I mean? I know the government looks at it differently, but I could see how a lot of people see it that way because I think I'm kind of that way. I'm like, look, I already paid this once. It's my money. Give it back to me.
Yes. Used to, it was if you were full retirement age and working, you could earn up to like $14,000 a year before it became taxable.
Gotcha.
So I don't know what it is these days.
Yeah.
But under full retirement age, if you make too much, then it's penalized and income taxable.
Well, did some of this change over the years too when they realized that they got to do other things to make sure that people 20, 30, 40 years from us also have Social Security? Is that some of that what changed over time with some of that stuff? Or because I know when like Social Security came out now, they, you know, we've all seen the debate. They're like, well, you know, maybe Social Security won't support itself here in 30 years or whatever that number
Well,
is.
what happens is the Social Security taxes that you're paying right now are being paid out to people on Social Security.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's actually no bank account with your money in it.
Right.
So this is not you deposit your Social Security in an account and get it back later. It's a pay as somebody else goes.
Sure.
So we're paying for other people on Social Security. If there's not enough generations behind us to pay for ours,
right,
that's where we're going to get in trouble.
I didn't know if some of these, you know, taxing on it later came in as a way to try to offset some of that cost kind of thing.
20 years ago, I felt Social Security at some point would be means tested.
Yeah.
That if you have enough other income, then your check's going to get reduced. And
yeah.
So I think ultimately they'll get close to that, something similar to that. They can't say zero. But they might if you got $1 million retirement income.
And I could see that too, you know, because in all fairness, a person that's, you know, making Trump money and living around, and you know, that Social Security check is not even noticeable to that person.
It's insignificant.
So I can understand why that. Oh, okay, let's take that money and disperse it to someone that will truly need that money as opposed to someone that I completely understand. And it should be that way. You know?
So maybe it's 2 times the median income, or if your other retirement income is 2 times the median income or 3 times, then they'll start reducing it. They'll have some kind of formula.
Sure.
But I think that's one of the things they will end up doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
So really, you know, as far as legal advice going, I mean, obviously talking to an expert with disability and all that stuff, that's key here. But
on that, yeah.
But I mean, at what point do lawyers need to get involved when it comes to Social Security and things? Is when you're being denied benefits? Is that at that stage, or is there a sooner point you should be talking to a lawyer about some of this stuff?
Talk to a disability attorney about disability. After that, you really don't need an attorney. Probably just call the senator's office and talk to them.
Gotcha.
But there's at least one insurance company in town that knows a whole lot about this stuff. And so I do refer people to them.
Okay. But like if you're questioning the numbers, that is that when you talk to a lawyer, or is that when you're talking to a senator or somebody?
Yeah, talk to the senator's office.
Okay.
Yeah. So the amount of Social Security you receive depends on how much you paid in.
Okay.
Okay. So,
he's doing
making notes. So I had a lady one time come in. She had been a hairdresser for years and thought that the chemicals from hairdressing had given her fibromyalgia.
Okay.
And so she'd had, you know, she'd rented space in somebody else, and then she got a place her own little place, and so she'd rent out spaces to other hairdressers. That's how that stuff works.
Gotcha.
And her husband was a school teacher. So her hairdressing business always reported a loss every year. And so that reduced his taxable income. Okay. So I don't care what she was, doing with the cash or checks that she was receiving from her hairdressing business. But when she reported a loss, that means she wasn't paying income tax, wasn't paying Social Security or Medicare tax.
Gotcha.
And so now when she wants to be on disability, it's like, sorry, you never paid in.
So in essence, she don't get to enjoy those benefits.
She didn't get disability.
Okay.
Now, the other one is called old age, retirement. So she could, when she reaches that age, get some benefits based upon her husband's earnings.
Okay.
But she didn't have her own earnings. So you don't put in, you don't get out.
Gotcha. And I would imagine, too, this is like, and I'm guessing it's been a little bit since seen one, but when, like, every once in a while, usually a year or so, you get that letter from the government saying basically how much you've paid in over your life and all that stuff. And that's that letter kind of telling you, what kind of numbers you put in and what kind of numbers you can expect when you hit the ages appropriate to collect some of these.
And you can set up on my Social Security account and get that same information.
Yeah. I just remember getting the letter like once a year now, and I know modern technology lets you do that a lot quicker and things.
Yeah.
But I just kind of remember getting that piece of mail every year. At first, you're like, uh-oh. You think it's a summons, or you think it's something like, uh-oh, IRS, I owe money. It's something bad, and you open it. It's like, oh, it's just the letter telling me, how much I paid in and how much, if I retire today, this is what I do, and da-da-da-da. Yeah.
So the other thing we see sometimes is husband self-employed and wife doesn't work. That's typically what it is. And so I'll see these folks in maybe a divorce setting, bankruptcy setting, maybe wills, that kind of stuff, and say, okay, well, and I find out, husband's self-employed. That's cool. And, ma'am, do you work? No, I don't work. You plan on working? Oh, no. I said, well, she gets income from the business, so she didn't have to work. I said, okay, do you get a W-2 or you just share the profit?
Right.
Oh, I just share the profits. The problem is the husband's name and Social Security number usually come first on the tax return.
Right.
And he's getting all the credit for the Social Security. She's not getting any.
Gotcha. Well, you funny you mentioned that. And I'm going back to my in-laws in an example, talking about, of course, he was a CPA for many years and things. But, and obviously my mother-in-law didn't work per se, you know what I mean? But what they did was basically she was made an employee, and she actually did work. She worked in the office and answered the phones and filed paperwork and all that. So she was an employee, but that's how they set it up, where she was an actual employee of the company.
So she got a W-2, so she paid in a Social Security.
Yeah. Even though she's the boss's wife and part of it, but for those purposes, she's listed as whatever title they give her, assistant or administrator, or I don't know.
That's smart. That's smart. She could pay into the system.
Yeah.
So I had another lady come in one time, and she had retired early. I think she started working for the school system at age 18 or something. So she retired at 45, and I was talking to her. She was in her early 50s, and I said to her, you haven't worked the last 10 years? Oh, no. Do you plan on working the next 10 years? Oh, no, I'll just apply for Social Security at the earliest possible time.
Yeah.
And I said, you have to work so many quarters in order to be eligible to receive
You got to put in to take out.
Yeah. And she goes, yeah. Well, Mike, guess when they start counting those quarters?
Huh.
From the date you apply for Social Security backwards.
Really?
They take a 30-year average, and she was going to have 20 years with the zeros in her 30-year average.
That's not good.
Not good.
Yeah.
So I suggested she kind of think about that.
Gotcha.
So what is the earliest age at which you can apply for Social Security?
I don't know. I was thinking around 65 or so, but I don't know.
62.
62
is the earliest. But if you apply at 62 versus full retirement age, that's like a 20% reduction.
Oh, wow.
It's a permanent reduction.
Woo. So unless you're dire straits to that money, you might want to try to hold out to full retirement age.
Full retirement age.
Yeah.
Or I looked up my stuff this morning. If I delay taking Social Security till I'm 70, so from 66.4 to 70, if I delay till 70, that's a 29% increase.
Oh, wow.
Huge. Permanent increase.
Sure. Of course, this is all based on, your health and everything else. If you're
those are the factors you have to consider.
If you're looking at 62 and you're looking at saying, there's no way I'm gonna make 80. You know what I mean? You kind of, and so you're like, well, maybe now's the time to start doing that. But if you're like, I'm 62, 65 and spry and healthy, and I might live another 20 years, and maybe you want to hold on to that Social Security a little bit longer before you cash in on it.
So your health at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in really bad health and you can't work, and that's the only source of income you might get is Social Security.
Yeah, obviously, and if you're about to lose everything, then maybe all right, you're gonna have to bite the bullet now because this is the option to help you now. But that being said, you got to know that you're going to get less money, and you're going to have to come up with another plan to offset whatever expenses you have to bring in some kind of income there. And I imagine, especially when you get on disability, you just can't go and get another job and things like that.
No, if you're on disability, you're not supposed to be
now,
working.
Social Security is another thing, but disability, if you're on that, you're not. That's kind of the income they give you is the income you're. And short of people, I guess, giving you money, you can't go and earn your own income.
Or very little.
Yeah.
So let's say husband and wife are both receiving Social Security checks. One of them passes away. What happens to the check? Does it still keep coming, or does it stop?
I thought it still came, or a portion of it, depending. Maybe you don't get the full, but you get a partial, depending if you're married or not, I'm guessing.
The surviving spouse can choose the higher of the two checks.
Okay, so basically you get to pick whoever has the bigger check, and you get to bring that one in.
But the smaller check stops completely.
Okay.
And a lot of people aren't aware of that.
Okay.
So that always surprises me.
So
you don't know that?
I'm sure you take averages, but say the wife, and that's probably how usually it's the husband that dies first. You're just to kind of, you do the math here, and that's statistically that's how it goes, and so also statistically it's usually the male that probably had the higher income over those years, and in essence would get the bigger Social Security check. So odds are it's usually the husband, but that's not always the case.
Not always.
But generally speaking, that's probably. And I'm curious if that pattern changes over time. Like you obviously, like 20 years ago, that was probably almost unheard of to have a female with a bigger, you know what I mean?
Right.
And now, times have changed a little bit. So you probably see more and more. And I imagine in another 20, 30 years, I wonder if that gap goes away altogether,
I have no idea.
That was just me thinking, gee whiz, curiosity out of social and everything else, and how the lay of the land has changed, where, we went from the 50s where it looked like Beaver and mom stays home and takes care of the kids, and Ward goes off to work and comes home with the cigar and the slippers and the whole 9 yards, to now, everybody and their uncles win and they scream around and get, I'm just curious how that's changed and how those proportions are going to change as far as who's the bigger retirement and who's getting them. I'm just, as a study of people, that's a stat in my head. I'd be very curious to see it change and trend over the years,
Hard to know.
Yeah.
Women traditionally make less than men, which is, not fair, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
Women generally are more cautious investors than men. They've done studies that women don't invest as much because they're risk adverse.
Right.
Men tend to invest more, but that's because they like playing poker kind of thing.
Sure.
Sometimes. So women need to save more.
Sure.
They need to have their own retirement.
Sure.
They need to look after themselves.
Plus, I would even throw the gender for older, for generationally. We talk about gender, like you say, men generally invest in things, because I also think men were generally groomed to do that. Like when we were growing up, you teach women domestic stuff, and you know what I'm saying? And where the guys were like, you're going to be the one with the bills, so you need to learn about, and I know that doesn't apply today, but
Hope not, yeah.
But that's kind of, our parents, and that's kind of how they were raised.
That generation,
and so we're breaking that cycle a little bit. So and again, this is back to me curious if those numbers shifting, where I'm very curious to see where maybe it's not the male in families that's the big earner, where that shifts a little bit, where it's more 50-50 versus whatever it is right now.
So I had a friend worked in an oil and gas firm in Artesia.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And he asked could I come down and give a little talk about wills, powers of attorney, getting all that kind of stuff straightened up.
Right.
So I said, yeah, sure, no problem. So mixture of men, mostly women, office workers. Some were bosses, some were secretaries, the different ages, all the way from the mid-20s to up to the mid-50s. And so I'm talking about estate planning and, you got to plan for retirement and save your pennies. And I said, ladies, having a man is not a plan. And all those older women are all nodding their heads. That's for damn sure.
And the younger women are like, what are you talking about? That's not the plan to begin with. And so, I love that. But I just saw the time. Do we got a little time for some fact or fiction? I can't remember what you call it. I always remember fact or fiction.
Fiction and fact or Matt's Almanac.
There you go.
So the pediatrician is a children's doctor.
Yes.
And orthopedic has the same root word. And you think, well, what does an orthopedic have to do with kids, right?
Yeah.
But the orthopedic trains bones to be straight. And what do we do with children? We train them.
This is true.
So the root word for child and train is the same root word.
Interesting.
And that's the Greek mind. You train them. That's what you do with them.
Sure.
So I thought that's an interesting concept.
I love the fact because you're right, because that's in essence that's what kids are. I mean, that's what as parents that's our job, that's our thing. So to me but for the Greeks to kind of just mind meld that as one thing, I like that. That's pretty cool.
I think that's interesting. Yeah,
absolutely. Of course, folks, if you need legal advice, anything, family law, even financial advice, he's a lawyer by day, but he probably spends just as much time giving families financial advice as he does legal advice sometimes.
We do a little bit of everything, yeah.
But you can reach out. BristolLawOffice.com is the website, and you can go there and get an appointment scheduled. You can also call, too.
Yep. 65-5284.
Yeah, very good. And of course, his office is located right here in the J.P. White building in the 4th floor, but you just can't roll up into this building. So get an appointment, give him a call, ask some questions. Go to BristolLawOffice.com. And
please.
And the great thing about Matt is Matt will talk to you, and it could be just a 15-minute conversation, doesn't cost you a dime, or he'll tell you and say, you know what, no, this is more serious. We need to start something here. Let's whether it's a paperwork thing or something more serious, he's going to be the one that tells you when all that's necessary, or if it's just no, you just need to go to the clerk's office, fill out a simple form or something, you're good to go.
Yeah, well, we help people fill out forms all the time for family law, probate, different things, and it doesn't hurt my feelings to help people fill out forms.
Sure,
I think that makes the law more accessible.
Well, and then the theory too is that if things are more serious down the road, you're going to come back and see, help with the little stuff, and then hopefully they don't need it, but if they do, you're coming back to help them.
But at some point, generally there's one or two little things they'll need help on. But
absolutely.
Thank you, Mike. I enjoyed it today.
Anytime. It's always fun. Maybe we should wing it every time.
Why not?
That's been half my life doing that.
I have these nightmares one morning. I'm going to walk in and say, I don't have anything.
We'd still figure it out. We'd still come up with 30 minutes of something we'd find. I just know we would. So thank you, Matt. Appreciate the visit.
You, Mike.
We'll see you next time.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Sarah Bloom Raskin under fire from Senate Republicans for her views on climate change and financial regulation has withdrawn her name from consideration for a key post on the Federal Reserve's Board of Governors. Raskin's nomination was stuck in the Senate Banking Committee after Republican senators boycotted a vote. Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia said Monday that he also opposed her, dooming her chances of winning confirmation in the full Senate. President Biden had nominated Raskin to serve as the Fed's vice chair for supervision, a top financial regulatory post. New U.S. sanctions Tuesday targeted more individuals in Russian President Vladimir Putin's power structure, including senior Russian military officials and the leader of Kremlin-allied Belarus. A judge and an investigator in Russia's prosecution of two outspoken critics of alleged corruption and rights abuses are also a focus of the sanctions. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
To plant or not to plant? That is the question. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Our tomato plants and pepper plants are ready to go. If you plant them now, you might have homegrown tomatoes and peppers before anyone else, or the frost might kill them. As Clint Eastwood would say, do you feel lucky? You'll either be the smartest gardener in the county or you'll get to replant them all over again. I say go for it. You'll get more practice and we'll get more business. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, and I apologize to William Shakespeare.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports.
Get smoking hot deals during the sizzling savings event at Roswell Nissan. Like a 2015 Ford F-150 for just $307 a month or a 2010 Honda Odyssey for just $149 a month. And join Roswell Nissan March 26th from 10 to 1 for free food, stuff for the kiddos, and your chance to win a Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 entries with a test drive or service, and 5 entries with a purchase. Drawing March 26th at 1, must be present to win. Get a Home Depot gift card with a test drive and a portable grill and a chance at the cash grab just for stopping by. On now at Roswell Nissan. 2111 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
And we're closing in on 10 o'clock. Thanks for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an awesome day. If you missed any part of the show, you can go back and check it out at your leisure. KSVPTV.com. Click on the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find him there. Also on our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. After the show here, Tanner will separate the interviews from the main show and have them so you can watch them there by yourself. So have an amazing day. We'll be back bright and early.